This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, issue dated October 2, 1998, volume 27. The main focus is on upcoming Dreamcast titles, highlighting that Sega's two biggest titles, Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2, the cover features a prominent image of Akira Yuki, a key character from the Virtua Fighter series, visually connecting to the headline news. There's a special feature looking ahead to the AM show and potential Dreamcast game announcements. The issue also previews other Dreamcast news like Blue Stinger and Sengoku Turbo. For Sega Saturn players, the magazine offers complete guides for Slayers Royal 2, Buckin Loaders, and Black Matrix, along with features on Mobile Battleship Nadesico, Pia Carrot 2, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Mobile Suit Gundam, Gihren's Greed. There's also a strategic guide for Shining Force 2 Eyes Scenario 3.
The cover effectively promotes both the current Saturn lineup and the exciting future of the Dreamcast. This page announces the release of Falcom Classics 2 for the Sega Saturn, a collection bringing together two acclaimed titles from Falcom history. Scheduled for release on October 29, 1998, this package includes the action RPG YS2, a direct sequel to the original YS, and the mystery adventure game Taiyo no Shinden, Azteca 2. The collection utilizes the Saturn's capabilities to full effect, featuring completely revamped graphics and background music based on the originals. Notably, the YS2 portion includes opening and ending movies, and voice acting for character dialogue in event scenes, adding greater immersion. Two versions are available: a premium limited edition for 6,500 yen, which includes a music CD and bonus digital content, and a standard special edition for 5,800 yen, which includes the same bonus digital content, but not the music CD. The digital content consists of original image files and a picture label, though the image files are for PC viewing. This page announces the budget re-release of Falcom Classics on the Sega Saturn as part of the SATA Core collection. The image features iconic characters from the YS series, with Lilia in the foreground and Adol Kristen lying down, accompanied by the evocative phrase, "I wanted to meet you one more time." This budget release of the first Falcom Classics, which includes YSI, YS2, and Taiyo no Shinden, Azteca 2, is positioned as the popular predecessor to the upcoming Falcom Classics 2. A key feature highlighted is that using save data from the YS games in the Falcom Classics collection when playing Falcom Classics 2 unlocks voiced event scenes, encouraging fans to revisit the original. There's also a promotional campaign offering original YS character telephone cards to purchasers. This page serves as both an announcement for the affordable re-release of the first collection and a teaser for the enhanced experience awaiting players in the sequel by utilizing the save data linkage.
This page serves as the table of contents, clearly laying out what's inside this issue of Sega Saturn magazine, heavily focused on the upcoming Dreamcast. Highlighted content includes a major scoop on the Dreamcast version of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, questioning if the console port surpasses the arcade original, and featuring additional elements. There's also a look at the evolution of entertainment with an article on Sega Rally 2, showcasing the latest visuals. Other Dreamcast titles covered include Blue Stinger and Sengoku Turbo. The magazine investigates reports surrounding Capcom's potential entry into the Dreamcast market. Additionally, there's a feature looking ahead to the AM show, Arcade Machine Show, speculating on possible Dreamcast game reveals. The character image on the page is a Chui Umeno Koji, a fighter from the Virtua Fighter series, fitting perfectly with the coverage of Virtua Fighter 3 TB. The page gives a clear overview of the key Dreamcast news and previews packed into the magazine. The next page serves as the game index and table of contents, packed with details on upcoming and recently released Sega Saturn titles, alongside a glimpse of the burgeoning Dreamcast library. Featured prominently are special reports on highly anticipated games like Mobile Battleship Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, the new Neon Genesis Evangelion title, EVA, and The Pleasant Companions, and the intriguing Device Rain. Gamers eager for tactical challenges will find a strategy guide for Mobile Suit Gundam, Gihren's Greed, and a deep dive into Shining Force 2 Eyes Scenario 3.
Hyuheki no Jashingu, highlighting its system and guiding players through its early chapters.
The page also announces the return of the Falcom magazine section, promising the reveal of the YS2 opening movie, and more. Coming soon, and new release sections cover a variety of genres, including The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, Steam Hearts, Cotton Boomerang, and the Digimon Adventure Digital Monster Verse. Complete guides are provided for titles such as Slayers Royal 2, Suikoden, and Black/Matrix. The index neatly organizes games by console, listing titles like Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2 under the Dreamcast section,
demonstrating the magazine's focus on Sega's future while still supporting the Saturn. The page also lists various regular columns covering news, reader feedback, arcade games, developer insights, and game reviews. The character image is indeed a Sayoi from Virtua Fighter, a fitting visual given the VF3TB coverage.
This page provides a snapshot of the gaming world in late 1998, covering major industry events and the lead-up to the Dreamcast launch. It features a report on ECTS, Europe's largest game expo held in the UK, noting a strong presence of PC network games like Diablo, but highlighting the significant attention console games received. While the Dreamcast itself wasn't shown with new titles, Ubisoft's early exhibition of a PC port like Monaco Grand Prix racing simulation for the console spurred interest in overseas developers. Microsoft, a major force behind Dreamcast development, was present, but offered little specific information on DC titles. The magazine expresses high expectations for Ubisoft's future on the Dreamcast, featuring their commitment and showcasing a screenshot of Rayman 2, indicating the series' expected arrival on the platform. Crucially, the page announces the highly anticipated appearance of the Dreamcast at the Tokyo Game Show, 98 autumn and October. It confirms that the public will finally get to see the console and play key titles. Featured prominently are Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2, both essential launch titles that showcase the Dreamcast's capabilities. The page includes screenshots of these games and the sleek Dreamcast console itself, fueling excitement for its imminent release. A list of planned Dreamcast titles for TGS is also included, hinting at the lineup gamers could expect. The next page kicks off with news about Sega's iconic character, Sagata Sanshiro. Filming is in full swing for the upcoming game, Sagata Sanshiro. Serious game, slated for release on October 29th. It sounds like the game will feature the master himself in action across 10 different minigames, capturing his dynamic poses for the gameplay. Actor Hiroshi Fujioka, who embodies Sagata, shared his excitement for the game. Below that, Konami is expanding its character merchandise footprint, with new Konami Ruku shops opening across the country, offering goods for popular series like Tokimeki Memorial. On the right, the much-talked-about TV commercials featuring Sega managing director Hidekazu Yukawa are back with their third installment. These dramatic spots highlight the anticipation for the Dreamcast, even declaring Dreamcast completions. It seems director Yukawa's efforts are paying off, as the commercials are even reaching younger audiences who are excited about the new console. Sega's amusement parks are also growing, with the grand opening of the Osaka/Umeda Joyopolis on November 28th, promising exciting new attractions including a drift kart ride. Not to be outdone, Fukuoka Joyopolis is adding seasonal fun with winter sports attractions like bobsledding. The page also shows a dramatic moment from the Yukawa commercials where he takes a hit, illustrating the intensity surrounding the Dreamcast launch. Finally, a contest supported by industry giants like Sega, Konami, and Sony is seeking new digital creators in Kochi, highlighting a push for future talent. This page highlights merchandise and events tied to popular franchises. A new store, Marcus House, opened in Chiba, selling sentimental graffiti goods, with a voice actress event. Sakura Wars 2 is getting new card-das cards, and a detailed Sakura Shinguji doll is coming. Contests are offering prizes like Sakura Wars, 2 cards, Slayers and Cardcaptor Sakura promotional items, and a Nirvana telephone card. A Puyo Puyo Obento photo contest encourages fans to create themed bento boxes. A Densha de Go card game is launching. Finally, Japan Victor is releasing new AV/TV game selectors, and a karaoke system with 3D dancing characters is also introduced. Contest applications require basic personal information and adhere to specific deadlines. This page opens with exciting news about a significant project involving Sega and Gifu Prefecture. The development of Oasis Park, featuring a VR aquarium that blends high-tech innovation with natural environments, slated for a summer opening. Sega, along with local partners, is constructing the Sekai Tansui Gyoen Ecolium, tentative name, as part of a large leisure complex. This facility will include an aquarium utilizing Sega's virtual reality expertise, alongside amusement facilities and a nature park. Phase 1 is targeting a July opening next summer, with the full park, potentially including a Ferris wheel, planned for 2002. Sega already has a similar VR aquarium, Aqua Arena, in Kyoto Joypopolis, allowing visitors unique views and interactions with fish. The new Gifu facility promises further technological advancement and integration with natural elements. The page also highlights a selection of new music releases, featuring albums and singles from various Japanese artists including Ueda Mari, Pierrot, Tsuyoshi Nagabuchi, Peekaboo, the theme song for Ultraman Gaia, Zabadak, Toshinori Yonakura, and ACO, covering diverse genres from pop and rock to anime themes. This week's SEGA Saturn sales chart, compiled from various stores, reflects the increasing difficulty of acquiring new Saturn games. Slayer's Royal 2 claims the top spot with strong sales, indicating high anticipation. Black's Matrix holds steady at second, while Buckle Up Roller and Pro Yakyu Greatest 998 Summer Action follow. Lunar 2 Eternal Blue rounds out the top 5. Further down, Mobile Suit Gundam Giran's Greed returns to the top 10 at 6th, showing impressive longevity, possibly aided by a strategy guide. Osatu-sama wo Nerae also re-enters the top 10. Deep Fear and Super Robot Wars F. Final maintains solid sales. Capcom Generation Volume 1 Gekitsui Ou no Jidai completes the top 10. Noteworthy entries include Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The chart reveals a mix of new hits and enduring classics. This page spotlights the user data top 30 hopeful new soft for the Sega Saturn, highlighting the most anticipated upcoming games based on user data. While Virtua Fighter 3 TB is absent, the list acknowledges the prevalence of visual novels and dating sims, but assures a diverse selection. The top 3 games are showcased. Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 at number 1, followed by Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years and Sakura Wars, Imperial Floral Assault Group Communication. The full top 30 list encompasses various genres, including fighting games, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, survival horror, Resident Evil 2, and strategic RPGs. A pickup title, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed Strategy Guide, is also highlighted. A Coming Soon section teases Neon Genesis Evangelion, an adventure and mahjong game, and includes dream crossover concepts, along with upcoming titles like Friends and Cotton Boomerang. The page provides a glimpse into the Saturn's exciting future game lineup. This page presents the Sega Saturn release schedule, detailing upcoming games with dates, prices, manufacturers, genres, and compatibility, covering a wide range of titles. This page features the weekly reader race ranking for Sega Saturn software. It explains that this section compiles votes from readers on all released Sega Saturn games, presenting an average score and ranking. While the page is dominated by the extensive ranking table listing numerous games and their scores, the commentary highlights some interesting movements. It notes that Black Matrix is unexpectedly rising in the ranks and comments on its current position. It also points out that Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, is steadily climbing the chart and recommends checking it out. Additionally, Cross Detective Story is mentioned as noteworthy. A screenshot from Black Matrix accompanies the commentary, showing a character looking serious. The article emphasizes that these rankings are based on reader participation and change in real time, encouraging readers to contribute their votes. This week's Sega Saturn software rankings introduce several new games. Ebarouge Special, Love and Magic School Life, a simulation game, receives high praise from users, 9.1041, despite being an enhanced version of an existing title. Angelique Duet, a romance simulation, scores an 8.9 from users, though the magazine score is lower, 6.66, with some critique of its ending graphics. Black Matrix, a strategy RPG, climbs the charts with an 8.8888 user score, lauded for its deep scenario and strategic gameplay, though it has some issues. Pro Yakyu Greatest 998 Summer Action, a baseball game, faces criticism for long load times and limited improvements, 8.0 user score. Finally, Jungle Rhythm, possibly an action/rhythm game, earns a 7.6363 user score, praised for its system and unique elements, but with some feeling the content is lacking. This page features the odds chart Saturn C from the weekly Sega Saturn magazine's Reader's Race Poll. It presents a massive ranking of numerous Sega Saturn games based on average reader scores. Each entry details the game's current rank, its previous rank, the Japanese game title, its genre, and the average score given by readers. This section is just part of the extensive ongoing poll, showcasing the diverse tastes of the magazine's readership, from action titles and RPGs to puzzle games and simulations. The ranking provides a snapshot of which games were resonating most with players at the time, offering a fascinating look back at the system's popular titles, as judged by the community. The commentary at the bottom likely discusses trends within the poll, or teases upcoming features related to the rankings, providing context to these reader-driven results. This page features the SATA Maga recommendation, spotlighting Linda Cubed Complete, reviewed by Samurai Hino. This RPG, released in June 1998, scored an impressive 9.2962 from readers, and 8.0 from the magazine. The review highlights its unique setting on an alien planet hit by a meteor, where the goal is to collect animals to prevent extinction. The complete version is noted as combining content from the PC Engine and PlayStation releases, making it the definitive edition. A section titled, "Graphics equals Game Quality? That's different," argues that while graphics can help, the true quality of an RPG lies in its world immersion and well-designed systems, not just visuals. Animal collection is called an addictively fun key element, which fuels the command-based battle system and allows for crafting gear and food. Recent reader comments praise the pacing, engaging story, and fun animal collection, wishing for a Dreamcast port and a sequel. Developer comments encourage players to find the bonus mode and challenge the competition scenario. The page also includes the odds chart, Saturn D, continuing the reader ranking poll with more game titles and scores. A small section titled, "Sign on DC? Death Crimson Next Gen Conquest?" teases the upcoming Dreamcast launch and the arrival of Death Crimson on the new console. This page delves into more reader interactions and game insights as the Sega Saturn era begins its twilight, with the Dreamcast approaching. 3 different games are spotlighted with reader feedback and scores. Slayers Royal 2, an RPG receiving a 6.0 average, How to Be a Sorcerer, another RPG scoring 6.33, and Image Fight and X Multiply. Arcade Gears, a shooting compilation also averaging 6.33. Reader comments for Slayers Royal 2 mention its appeal to fans of the original work and its lack of significant changes from its predecessor, while How to Be a Sorcerer is praised for its graphics and the fun of creating new magic. Image Fight and X Multiply is seen as a great value compilation of classic shooters. A chart ranking Sega Saturn peripheral equipment based on reader scores is also featured. A general review section reflects on the state of the Saturn readership as the Dreamcast launch draws near, noting that while the countdown is on, the Saturn Corner will continue. Readers are invited to participate in the reader race by submitting their own game reviews and scores. There are also prediction games where readers can guess the ranking for Shining Force 2I Scenario 3 and the odds for Mobile Suit Gundam, the blank of 3 years upon their first appearance in the charts. Finally, winners from previous prediction games are announced, and details for a special gift giveaway are provided, offering winners a choice between prize sets including controllers, accessories, and a game. This page announces a major milestone and a campaign celebrating the success of the Sega official series of strategy guides, having sold over 2.5 million copies. Running from September to November 1998, the Thank You campaign invites readers to purchase SoftBank's official guides for a chance to win prizes in a lottery. Featured prizes include the Atsumete Godzilla Great Monster Gathering game for the Game Boy, a Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari card collection box featuring characters like Arle, Rulu, and Satan, and special commemorative telephone cards. The campaign targets specific SoftBank strategy guides for popular and upcoming Sega Saturn titles. Guides for games scheduled for release during the campaign period include Cyber Troopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, Sakura Wars 2, Virtua Striker 2 Ver 98, and Shining Force 2I Scenario 3. Entry involves using a postcard found within the eligible books. This campaign highlights the strong support for the Saturn's key titles, even as the console's generation nears its end. This page is the striking cover of Dreamcast magazine, featuring an exciting lineup of games for Sega's upcoming console. The artwork showcases 3 iconic rally cars, strongly hinting at coverage of racing titles, most notably the highly anticipated arcade port, Sega Rally 2, which is highlighted alongside Virtua Fighter 3 TB. These major arcade hits are a big focus, promising faithful translations of the arcade experience. Other titles featured on the cover include the survival horror game Blue Stinger and the action title Sengoku Turb. The magazine is presented as Provisional Issue Number 5 and notably has a special price of 0 yen, suggesting it's either a launch issue or a promotional issue designed to build hype for the Dreamcast's release. The cover effectively uses dynamic imagery of the cars and prominent game titles to grab attention and signal the exciting games coming to the Dreamcast. This page is the Dreamcast magazine's data station, keeping us informed with the latest details as the console launch draws closer. With just 63 days left, the page kicks off with the reader-voted anticipated title ranking, highlighting the top contenders. Sonic Adventure takes the top spot, followed by D's Diner 2 and Northward. White Illumination.
These are clearly the games generating the most buzz among readers. The section includes points awarded and the stated development progress, offering a snapshot of how close these anticipated titles are to completion. There's also a brief look at the user data top 10, listing games like Mercurius Pretty, Elemental Gimmick Gear, and Sengoku Turb, showing a diverse range of genres capturing attention. The pickup section highlights 2 upcoming racing titles, SEGA Rally 2 and Monaco Grand Prix Racing Simulation. SEGA Rally 2 is confirmed as a port of the arcade hit, promising the full experience, with details on cars and courses revealed from developer interviews. Monaco Grand Prix is presented as a serious F1 simulation. Finally, there's a summary of scheduled release titles, providing a list of games currently planned for release, including the Dreamcast console itself, SEGA Rally 2, Sonic Adventure, and Virtua Fighter 3 TB, along with release windows, publishers, genres, and compatibility details like VMS support. It's a comprehensive look at the exciting lineup on the horizon. This page delves further into the Dreamcast excitement, starting with the Transplant Wish User Data Top 20, a ranking of games readers are hoping to see ported to the new console. Topping this wishlist is the Sakura Wars series, followed by the Final Fantasy series. The Dreamcast data station confirms that some of these wishes are being granted, highlighting the upcoming Dreamcast ports of Virtua Fighter 3 TB and SEGA Rally 2, both major arcade hits. Images show work-in-progress shots, indicating Virtua Fighter 3 TB is further along with a reported completion rate than SEGA Rally 2. Shifting focus, the page also presents the Arcade Video Game Shop Data Top 15, showing which titles are currently popular in arcades. The top spot goes to Virtua Striker 2 Ver 98, with Virtua Fighter 3 TB also ranking highly. This section gives a glimpse into the arcade scene, which often feeds into future console releases. Finally, the This Week's Hot Machines section previews new arcade cabinets. We see Dead or Alive Plus Plus, an enhanced version of the popular fighting game, Tech Romancer, a mech-based fighting game, and Ocean Hunter, a fascinating underwater rail shooter. These are the games to watch for on the arcade circuit. This page is all about the highly anticipated Dreamcast port of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, asking if it will be a launch title, simultaneous with the console, and confirming a release within the year. Featured prominently is the iconic character Akira Yuki. The text highlights the power of the Dreamcast, stating it truly possesses the capability to bring the state-of-the-art arcade game home. It mentions the technical specifications announced at the Dreamcast reveal, like 3.5 million polygons per second and advanced CG effects, praising AM2's work and calling the specs the highest achievable today. The page showcases screenshots featuring characters like Pai-chan, Jeffrey McWild, Kagemaru, and Ashoe Umanokoji, confirming the arcade hit is indeed coming to home consoles soon. It directs the reader to page 22 for more details. This page features the highly anticipated arcade racer, SEGA Rally 2, making its way to the Dreamcast. Prominently displayed is the iconic game logo, alongside a large vertical SEGA Rally 2 title. The page announces this is a major feature across 14 pages, highlighting the decision to bring 2 significant arcade titles to the console. It confirms the port is scheduled for release within the year. The text praises the Dreamcast's power, stating it is designed to port demanding arcade games from Sega's AM3 division without compromise. This is presented as a major exclusive scoop by the magazine. The page includes screenshots showcasing different rally cars like the Subaru Impreza, Ford Escort, and Lancia Stratos, confirming the authentic arcade experience. The bottom of the page teases readers to turn to page 27 for further details on this exciting port. This page follows up the previous announcement with another major scoop for the Dreamcast, revealing that Virtua Fighter 3 TB is coming as a complete port scheduled for release by the end of the year. The page features a large title for the game and portraits of all 12 playable characters. The article explains that bringing the highly advanced arcade version of Virtua Fighter 3 to the SEGA Saturn
proved too technically challenging, leading to the cancellation of the Saturn port. However, it states that the expertise gained during that development process is now being fully utilized to create a high-quality, arcade-faithful version for the more powerful Dreamcast. The text also includes a brief historical look at the Virtua Fighter series, emphasizing its groundbreaking impact on the gaming industry, with its revolutionary 3D polygon characters, and detailing key releases in its chronology, including the original on the Model 1 arcade board, and subsequent titles on arcade and Saturn. Screenshots showcasing gameplay from earlier entries in the series are also featured. This page delves deeper into Virtua Fighter 3, a game that captured the attention of all of Japan. Following the massive success of Virtua Fighter 2, development of VF3 began alongside the creation of Sega's cutting-edge Model 3 arcade board, leading to a longer-than-expected development period. The anticipation was incredibly high, fueled by glimpses of the game's stunning visuals at events like the 96 AOU show. The page showcases screenshots from the 96 AOU demo, highlighting the groundbreaking graphics, including detailed character models like Pai-chan and the powerful sumo cage, dynamic lighting, and intricate stage details like falling snow and realistic water. A major gameplay innovation introduced was the fourth button for escape, adding a new dimension to the already deep combat system, along with stages featuring varying elevations and obstacles. The article also briefly looks back at Virtua Fighter 2's immense popularity, which paved the way for its successor. It then discusses the arcade releases of Virtua Fighter 3 and the updated Virtua Fighter 3 TB on the Model 3 board, showcasing gameplay and features like the team battle mode, evident in the character select screen showing multiple cages. The page concludes by reaffirming the exciting prospect of the ultimate Virtua Fighter 3 TB experience arriving on the Dreamcast by the end of '98, bringing these powerful arcade visuals home. This page dives deeper into Virtua Fighter 3 TB, the updated version that brought significant changes. It emphasizes the evolution from VF2 to VF3, noting the shift was so dramatic it felt like a different game, largely due to the strategic depth added by the escape mechanic. Virtua Fighter 3 TB refined this further, introducing the team battle mode, allowing players to select multiple characters for deeper matchups. The article highlights that the game requires more strategic judgment due to elements like varying terrain elevation affecting damage and the need to master aerial combos. It also mentions adjustments to characters and moves, as well as updated stage backgrounds and sizes in the 3TB version. The page showcases character profiles for 6 fighters: Akira Yuki, Judo; Pai-chan, Sing Yi Quan; Lao-chan, Koinken and Tiger Fist; Wolf Hawkfield, Pro Wrestling; Jeffrey McWild, Pancratium; and Kagemaru, Jigenryu Jujutsu. Each profile briefly describes their fighting style and significance. Corresponding stage screenshots are also shown, detailing stages like the Gymnasium, Akira; Roof, Pai; Great Wall, Lao; Desert, Wolf; Island, Jeffrey; and Castle, Kagemaru, explaining their unique features and strategic elements, such as the Gymnasium's fair, orthodox layout, the roof's extreme slope, the Great Wall's varied elevation, the desert's undulation, the island's small hill and ring-out potential, and the castle's elevation changes. Virtua Fighter 3 TB boasts numerous enhancements beyond system changes. The Dreamcast version promises an arcade-faithful experience, while the Saturn version omits some arcade features. New features include special effects like head-hit sparks, a drunken meter for Shundi, and character transparency based on the stage. CPU fights introduce camera perspective switching for strategic viewing. The text then details the updated characters and stages. Jackie Bryant's Jeet Kune Do is showcased in the expanded construction site stage. Sarah Bryant utilizes Jeet Kune Do in the larger subway stage. Shundi fights on the raft stage, which is affected by water. Lion Raphael battles in the library. Aoi Umenokoji uses her techniques in the snowfield. And Taka Arashi debuts in the sumo ring, highlighting updated visuals and environmental elements. This page dives into the exciting details surrounding Virtua Fighter 3 TB's imminent arrival on Dreamcast, confirming its release within the year. The focus is on the numerous new techniques and hidden secrets added to the game. It highlights tricky elements not immediately obvious, like specific win poses and lines triggered by inputs after victory for characters like Jeffrey, Cage, and Pain. It also mentions the famous Dural stage trick, accessible by holding Start during stage selection. Crucially, the page details significant balance adjustments alongside the new moves. It showcases specific new attacks for Akira,
Jeffrey Che, and Lion, right pointing arrow. The article points out that beyond new moves, character balancing is key, fixing disadvantages some characters had, like being difficult to down after taking hits, and improving grounded hit properties and jump attacks. The page also presents the results of reader surveys. Players were asked if they wanted to buy VF3TB on Dreamcast, with a strong majority saying yes. Another survey addressed the cancelled Saturn version of VF3, showing that while some still wanted it, most were either indifferent or preferred not to see it released on the Saturn anymore, with the Dreamcast version likely satisfying them. Finally, a section lists bonus features readers hope to see in the Dreamcast release, ranging from mode switching to online play, enhanced training, hidden characters, minigames, and even character creation. A CG image is shown, referencing a 2-minute CG movie mentioned for the VF3 release. This page features an exclusive special feature diving deep into the upcoming Dreamcast version of SEGA Rally 2, proclaiming it's exactly like this. The article reveals development is currently 6,065% complete and promises visuals virtually indistinguishable from the arcade original. The main headline excitedly declares the port is complete, and the Dreamcast version is simply amazing. The page also takes a look back at the glorious history of the SEGA Rally series, highlighting its status as a worldwide hit and the strongest race game. It briefly touches on the success of the arcade original, the immensely popular SEGA Saturn version, the PC release, and the latest arcade iteration, SEGA Rally 2. The consensus is that the Dreamcast port, leveraging the console's power, is set to propel the series and the Dreamcast console itself to new heights, bringing the best racing game to home consoles soon. Screenshots from the various versions are shown, illustrating the series' evolution. This page dives deeper into the upcoming Dreamcast version of SEGA Rally 2, following up on the previous discussion about its arcade-perfect port. The big news here is the car roster. While the arcade version featured 8 machines, the Dreamcast port is set to feature not just those 8, but potentially dozens more, including classic rally machines from previous eras. The article highlights some examples of these potential additions, showing iconic cars like the Alpine A110, Fiat Abarth, and Fiat X19, suggesting a huge variety for players. This is a major selling point for rally fans. It also showcases the core 8 cars from the arcade version that will definitely be in the game. The Toyota Corolla WRC, Subaru Impreza WRC, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution V, and Ford Escort WRC. Each car gets a brief description, touching on its real-world history and its characteristics within the game, like the Corolla being a standard, easy-to-handle car, or the Impreza having looser steering characteristics compared to the Escort. The Lancer Evo V is noted as an evolution of the Evo IV, achieving high stability and handling, while the Escort is described as having sharp steering, making it approachable for beginners. Adding a wealth of past rally legends to the already impressive arcade roster means the Dreamcast version isn't just a perfect port, but a significantly expanded experience, giving players tons of machines to master. This is shaping up to be the ultimate rally game package. This page continues the deep dive into SEGA Rally 2 for the Dreamcast, confirming the massive expansion to the car roster mentioned previously. It highlights not just the cars but also the proposed control scheme, discussing how the arcade's side brake and other analog controls will be handled, particularly with the anticipated Dreamcast steering wheel controller. A cool scoop section reveals that the development staff got hands-on experience by test driving a real-life Toyota Celica rally car. They share their impressions, noting the incredible speed and the value of the real-world feeling for game development. This kind of dedication really shows in the final product's authenticity. The page then showcases several classic rally machines expected to feature. The Peugeot 306 Maxi is presented as a potent FWD contender. Plus, legendary hidden cars from the original SEGA Rally are back, like the iconic Toyota Celica GT4, Street 185, known for its WRC history and distinctive in-game handling. The Lancia Stratos HF, a car truly born to win, is shown with its aggressive design and discussed for its rally pedigree. Finally, the dominant Lancia Delta HF Integrale, a multiple WRC champion, is highlighted, promising quick handling and tight cornering prowess in the game, setting it apart from other cars like the Corolla. This roster expansion, bringing back hidden gems and adding new ones, makes the Dreamcast version a must-have for rally fans. This page dives into the confirmed Dreamcast port of SEGA Rally 2, highlighting that two great arcade games are being ported for release within the year, and focuses on the arcade version's 4 courses making the jump. It emphasizes that new courses are being developed to fully utilize the performance of the Dreamcast hardware. One specific course, Desert, is showcased with a screenshot of a Toyota Corolla WRC. This course is described as a high-speed gravel track, set in a desert environment, featuring gentle high-speed corners and technical sections, with wide lanes allowing for aggressive driving. The page also features a special interview with SEGA AM12 R&D producer Jun Taniguchi and director Isao Matsumoto. They discuss the decision to port Sega Rally 2 to the Dreamcast, explaining that strong demand from users and the market pushed for its release as a launch title. Development is progressing well, with around 65% complete, focusing now on refining performance and gameplay. This confirms the game is well into production and aiming for a timely release. This page confirms the Dreamcast port of Sega Rally 2 is expanding significantly beyond the arcade version, boasting an increase of over a dozen courses. 3 new environments are revealed here. Mountain is a technical course set in a rugged landscape, featuring a mix of gravel and tarmac with challenging corners. Riviera is a short, nighttime course inspired by Monaco, emphasizing tricky hairpins. Snowy takes the action to a slippery snow surface with beautiful scenery, reminiscent of the Swedish Rally. The interview continues, with the developers stating they aim to deliver a version drastically different from the Saturn port, promising a substantial leap in quality regarding graphics, frame rate, and overall feel. They are confident they can meet user expectations. The discussion reinforces that the course count will exceed the arcade version, exploring new settings like an Indonesian-themed course, and others with varied surrounding scenery. Excitingly, they are also considering adding new features like dynamic weather changes. A small side note reveals a hidden score attack mode on the Riviera course, involving knocking down pylons, which will be included in the Dreamcast release. This page delves into the exciting new modes and features being added to the Dreamcast port of Sega Rally 2 for its home console release. Beyond the arcade experience, players can look forward to standard racing game modes like Time Attack, complete with detailed ranking displays. A comprehensive car setting mode is also confirmed, allowing players to fine-tune various aspects of their vehicles, building upon the limited settings available in the Saturn version. The record mode will house extensive data, including lap times and other statistics, broken down by machine and mode. Finally, a robust replay mode is planned, allowing players to save and view their races, with potential for dynamic camera control during playback. The page also features an interview with the developers, highlighting other new elements. They confirm the car roster will significantly exceed the arcade version's initial 6, aiming for over a dozen types, focusing on famous rally cars and manufacturer flagship models. On the audio side, while arcade BGM will return, original tracks are being added, incorporating live instruments for an enhanced soundscape. Regarding communication features, head-to-head online play is being considered, aiming for 23 players initially, with exploration into other potential online functionalities. The overall tone is that the Dreamcast version will be a substantial evolution of the arcade game, tailored for the home console experience. This page dives deeper into the home console features of Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast, specifically highlighting its revolutionary communication capabilities and local multiplayer options. It proudly declares that arcade-level communication battles are becoming a reality, something the Dreamcast port will support. This is contrasted with the Saturn version's X-band online play, which suffered from poor response times and other issues. The Dreamcast, with its built-in modem and improved speed, is expected to deliver seamless online racing. Local play is also a focus, with the page testing split-screen multiplayer. While 4-player split-screen was attempted, but deemed too visually cluttered with smaller displays, 2-player split-screen is confirmed and found to be perfectly playable. Regarding online play, the developers confirm it will support multiple players, not just head-to-head, initially aiming for 2 to 3 players. They are keen to explore the possibilities of online competition. A column by Masatsuna Daisuke shares his personal wish list for the Dreamcast version, including options like a 6-speed manual transmission, customizable blow-off valve sounds, and night courses with functional headlights, though he notes some might not make the final cut. The page includes screenshots showing split-screen racing and a finish line shot. There's also a photo of the Dreamcast console and the developers being interviewed. The developers express confidence that this version will be a significant step up from previous home ports. Finally, the page teases the next issue, promising initial details on Virtua Fighter 3 TB, alongside more on Sega Rally 2. This page features a striking visual preview for the game Blue Stinger. It uses dramatic close-ups of character and creature eyes, alongside keywords highlighting the game's core components,
cinematic, action, adventure, and creature. This presentation suggests a focus on narrative, exciting gameplay, exploration, and encounters with monstrous foes. The title, Blue Stinger, is displayed prominently in English, with the Japanese title also present below it. Although the page originates from a publication focused on the Sega Saturn, the game Blue Stinger is a significant title from Sega's next console, the Dreamcast, released in 1999. This page, copyrighted 1998, likely serves as an early teaser or promotional piece for the upcoming console and its software lineup, demonstrating Sega's ambition for more visually impressive and genre-spanning titles. The bottom of the page includes the copyright Sega Enterprises, Limited 1998, and the page number 34. This page introduces Blue Stinger, an exciting action-adventure title developed by Climax Graphics and published by Sega for the Dreamcast, scheduled for release in late 1998. The feature highlights the game's breathtaking realism and entertainment value, pushing action scenes into a new dimension. It boasts high-quality visuals comparable to movie scenes on previous hardware, fully rendered within the game's 3D environments. The control scheme is designed for accessibility, simplifying actions down to one lever and one button. The accompanying screenshots showcase various futuristic and urban environments, including a scene in an arcade and what appears to be a storage area, giving a glimpse into the game's diverse settings and action sequences. This preview emphasizes the title's focus on delivering a visually impressive, cinematic, one-player adventure experience on Sega's next console. Blue Stinger aims for broad appeal with its accessible 3D action gameplay. It simplifies controls, using a single button for attacks and an analog stick for movement, with an automatic camera. Despite its simplicity, the game offers depth through puzzles and an engaging story. Screenshots showcase environment exploration, realistic bullet physics, and progression indicators. The game unfolds on Dinosaur Island, born from an earthquake near the Yucatan Peninsula. 17 years prior, the island was secretly developed into a town. Elliot G. Ballard, a rescue team member, investigates strange occurrences. Key characters include Janine King, Dogs Bauer, and the mysterious Nephilim. The seemingly small island is actually a fully developed town, promising a mystery-filled adventure. This page delves deeper into the technical and artistic aspects of Blue Stinger, specifically focusing on the creature design and environmental modeling. It highlights that Hollywood staff were brought in to design the creatures, resulting in a diverse range of enemies varying in size and form, such as the imposing dragon type and a peculiar hermit crab-like creature. Notable contributors include Robert Short, who won an Academy Award for special effects on Beetlejuice, and Pete Von Schally, known for his work on films like The Mask and Mars Attacks, who assisted with camera work and cutting. The game also boasts flawless polygon modeling visible from any angle. The developers paid meticulous attention to detail, ensuring that even close-ups and joints look clean and refined. The second checkpoint focuses on the game's environments, emphasizing that the buildings and facilities on Dinosaur Island are seamlessly connected. This design choice enhances the sense of realism and makes exploring the world feel immersive. The page showcases detailed interiors, like a hairdresser, residential area, toilet, and kitchen, highlighting how these spaces are filled with details that convey the feeling of human life, even after strange events have transpired. These detailed locations contribute significantly to the game's atmosphere. This page highlights the intellectual and adventure elements that stimulate the player's mind within Blue Stingers, mixing puzzles and exploration with the action. It explains how the protagonist, Elliot, gets caught up in the strange events on Dinosaur Island and must find a way to escape the town, uncovering secrets along the way. The gameplay involves solving puzzles through simple item use or utilizing the environment and machinery, requiring some clever thinking. The page shows various detailed locations within the game world, such as the Kimura Bank, a shared bathroom with a large tub, a changing room, a projection room within a cinema that seems crucial to an event, a spooky investigation area, and even the blue ocean at the island's edge, described as a lonely fishing spot. Checkpoint 3 focuses on the game's meticulous textures, which significantly enhance the sense of reality. The density of visual information, even from a distance, is impressive. The detailed textures applied to walls, signboards, posters, and the environment showcase incredible care. The magazine notes that the quality of the textures, particularly on elements like signboards, is so high it suggests dedicated artists focused specifically on them, a testament to the developer's effort. Examples include detailed signs for a loan business and neon-lit streets, demonstrating the game's commitment to creating a believable, albeit strange, environment.
This page delves into the cinematic presentation and visual flair of Blue Stinger. The article picks up on the cinematic description used previously, explaining that this refers to the game's overall impression, story structure, and scene direction. It highlights how these elements, combined with the visual presentation, contribute to a movie-like feel that is easily understood visually. The page then details specific aspects that enhance this feeling. One section focuses on enhancing visual effects, noting that weapon effects are a treasure trove of visual spectacle, particularly the impactful sequence from bazooka firing to explosion. It also mentions the beauty of transparent lasers and the light particles from the Nephilim character. Next, the article discusses viewpoint changes calculated for ease of play. It explains that the game automatically adjusts the viewpoint for optimal presentation, always aiming for a picture-perfect cutting. Despite these dynamic views, the player, as Elliot, can still clearly perceive the path forward and information about the surrounding environment. Finally, Checkpoint 4 highlights the colorful lighting processing unique to Dreamcast. It states that while sophisticated lighting is becoming common in 3D games, Blue Stinger shows no compromise in this area. Different lighting calculations are applied depending on the location, such as street illuminations or indoor rooms. Examples shown include the detailed lighting within a store and the subtle illumination of a fishing spot sign reflected on the water, emphasizing the care taken to create a believable atmosphere through nuanced lighting. This page introduces the Dreamcast title Sengoku Turb, highlighting its shocking characters and the strong reader reaction it has generated. It promises to unveil various mysteries and new facts through the latest screenshots, teasing the secret of the cat soldier as a key feature. The article then details the game's flow, revealing how different modes are intertwined. After cinematic movie scenes, players transition to the grid-based formation mode to manage items and select the battlefield. From there, the action moves to the battle mode for actual combat. The core gameplay loop involves moving between battle mode and formation mode to achieve objectives presented in the movie scenes, clear events, and progress to the next cinematic. Screenshots show a dynamic battle mode with character stats and a level-up notification, while the formation mode displays a strategic map and menu options like move, status, and order. The page emphasizes that switching between the battle and formation modes is possible at any time. The next page delves deeper into the bizarre world of Sengoku Turb, focusing on the mysteries found on the strange Rayon planet. As the game's development progresses, more and more perplexing scenes appear, filled with unusual places, objects, and characters. We get glimpses of some peculiar locations: a cave with unique terrain, a classroom that evokes nostalgia, a sheep-shaped building possibly used as a research base, and a mysterious altar perhaps holding sushi. The characters are equally strange, including the complex philosopher, Drive, Sheep, and the Sheep Army boss, Alice B., who arrives with backup dancers in a nod to her apparent love for dance. The page also expands on the gameplay flow, specifically the battle mode. It's not just about fighting. The game allows players significant freedom on the field. You can explore the environment of Rayon Planet, collect items scattered around, including weapons dropped by defeated enemies, interact with people, or even potentially avoid combat altogether. Your actions on the field are largely up to your own choices, giving the game a unique exploratory element alongside its strategic and combat modes. There's even a peculiar detail about capturing small creatures called Fairy Time Yan on Rayon Planet and eating them as medicine. The next page dives deep into the core fighting force of Sengoku Turb, the cat soldiers. Previously mentioned as the primary combat units, this feature explores their reality and what makes them tick. It's revealed that the cat soldiers gain experience by fighting and surviving on the battlefield, leading to level UPS that increase their attack, defense, and physical strength. They also advance through a ranking system, progressing from Puri to Sergeant, Captain, and General. As their rank increases, their visual appearance changes. Though, interestingly, the weapons they can equip are not restricted by rank, meaning even a low-ranked Puri can wield powerful artillery like a cannon. The page also touches on the practical challenge of sustaining the army, as soldiers who fall in battle do not revive. To replenish the ranks, the cat army utilizes a peculiar device called the Kumako Neko Converter. This invention has the power to transform bears and rabbits into cat soldiers. However, the conversion isn't always successful, sometimes resulting in a useless failure. The page also briefly mentions that soldiers have different personalities, and that giving orders that don't match their nature can lower morale. This page focuses on the equipment and weapons available in Sengoku Turbo, along with reader feedback. The game features a wide array of weapons that can be picked up on the battlefield, ranging from simple melee tools to powerful ranged options like laser cannons and explosives. The variety is emphasized, highlighting how different weapons affect gameplay. An interesting detail mentioned is that weapons acquired during battle can break fist. The page also includes screenshots showing gameplay with different weapons equipped. Below, there's a section dedicated to the significant response from readers regarding the game's unique nature. Described as a problematic work that has caused a stir in the industry, readers expressed strong reactions. Many found the character Jino-chan appealing in an unusual way, with comments like, "It's cute but somehow strange, and I've become fond of it." The popularity of Jino-chan is further showcased through featured fan art submitted by readers from different prefectures. The fan art reinforces the character's unique design and the game's distinct aesthetic, confirming its impact on the readership. Dreamcast fans are buzzing with news. Anticipation is high for upcoming ports of Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2. The biggest news is Capcom's potential entry into the Dreamcast market. A newspaper report claims Capcom is officially joining, with confirmation from their PR team of a zombie game in development. Reader polls show Capcom is a highly desired manufacturer, ranked 5th. Additionally, Capcom's homepage hints at a home console port of the arcade fighting game JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The magazine also features reader-submitted pixel art for the visual memory unit and highlights a reader poll about desired manufacturers. This page focuses on imaginative, peripheral ideas for the Dreamcast. It starts by discussing the fundamental relationship between the controller and the visual memory unit, exploring how accessories could connect. Featured user submissions include an ambitious head-mount display concept for immersive gameplay, which an expert reviewer notes would offer maximum immersion but likely come with a significant price tag. Another submission proposes a GPS navigation system utilizing the VMU screen to show location and direction. The expert finds the idea intriguing, suggesting it could work well for unique game types, like tracking Palma from Shining Force 2i, but points out the VMU's small display might be a limitation for navigation. The page also presents ideas specifically for the VMU, such as enhanced save data management display, variations like limited editions, and a request for a larger capacity VMU. This article examines the potential for Sega Model 3 arcade games to be ported to the Dreamcast, following the release of Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Sega Rally 2. It lists a range of popular Model 3 titles, including Virtua Fighter 3, Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, and Sega Rally 2. The article focuses on Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, speculating on how the Dreamcast could enhance the experience with online multiplayer, VMU support, and new game modes. The technical comparison reveals the Dreamcast's superior polygon rendering capabilities compared to the Model 3, making successful ports feasible. Sound capabilities are deemed comparable. The article concludes with an 80% probability rating for more Model 3 ports, emphasizing the potential for unique features exclusive to the Dreamcast. This article explores the potential of bringing Sega's arcade titles to the Dreamcast, focusing on Model 3 games. Virtua Striker 2 is highly anticipated, with a 90% probability, promising features like online matches and enhanced player data. Daytona USA 2 follows closely at 80%, with potential for online play, new content, and hidden modes. Fighting Vipers 2 is rated at 85%, with the possibility of additional characters and costumes. Spike Out has a lower chance at 40%, but may offer large-scale online play and unique modes. Other Model 3 titles like Dynamite Cop, Motor Raid, and Top Skater are briefly mentioned. A rumor of a Dreamcast-compatible board suggests potential hardware integration, similar to the STV. The next page jumps into another hot rumor swirling around the Dreamcast: the potential sequel to the beloved Sega Saturn title, All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua. This game was famous for putting Virtua Fighter characters Wolf Hawkfield and Jeffrey McWild in the ring with real All Japan Pro Wrestling stars. The article presents evidence supporting this rumor, tracing it back to an announcement of a new Sega project displayed during the 1998 All Japan Pro Wrestling Tokyo Dome event. It also reminds readers of the strong connection between Sega and the promotion, highlighting past events where wrestlers appeared alongside Virtua Fighter characters. The magazine's reporter expresses hope that the sequel is indeed happening, and specifically wishes for the inclusion of certain wrestlers and potentially more Virtua Fighter characters. Separately, the page features a fun reader corner called The Spiral Mark Scene in Town,
showcasing photos submitted by readers who spotted the distinct Dreamcast spiral logo on various everyday items, from sneakers and plates to a character in the game Mashi and even a fire door in Malaysia. The page concludes with a general call for readers to send in their own Dreamcast-related rumors and findings.
This page serves as the table of contents, presenting the key articles within the magazine, broken down into categories. The right side is dominated by beautiful artwork featuring characters and mechs from the highly anticipated game, Martian successor Nadesico. The blank of 3 years, which is also highlighted in the main Special Report section. The Special Report focuses on exciting upcoming titles, including the Nadesico game preview, information on Neon Genesis, Evangelion and Funny Friends titles, Mobile Suit Gundam, Girin's Ambition, and Device Rain. The Coming Soon Soft section previews games on the verge of release, featuring titles like The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, the SHMUP Steam Hearts, Soul Divide, Cotton Boomerang, and Capcom Generation Volume 2, Chronicles of the Demon World, and Knights. New Release Title provides follow-up information on recently released games, such as Digital Monster vs. Finally, the Complete Guide section offers in-depth strategy guides for hardcore players, covering titles like Slayers Royal 2, Bakkenroder, Black/Matrix, and notably, the PlayStation title, Suikoden, showing the magazine's willingness to cover hits on other platforms. The page is packed with insights into the hottest titles for Saturn fans and some cross-platform interest. This page dives into the highly anticipated SEGA Saturn adventure game, Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years. Picking up after the events of the movie, the game puts the player in the shoes of an amnesiac character who finds themselves aboard the Nadesico. The article previews the game's story, highlighting the mystery surrounding the player character's lost memory and their sole clue, a photograph of a girl named Suki. You'll interact with the familiar crew members like Eureka, Ruri, Megumi, and Yukina as you integrate into life on the ship. A key feature discussed is the game's branching story, influenced by player choices made during the prologue. This is visualized through a personality matrix screen featuring characters like Eureka, Ruri, and Irina, where your actions determine which path the narrative takes. Screenshots show character portraits, including a surprised reaction to Eureka being the captain, the Nadesico ship, and the personality matrix screen itself. The game promises to delve into what happened to Akito and Eureka after the TV series finale, making it a must-play for fans of the anime. This page details Scenario 1 of Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years, titled Buried Proof of Love. Life begins on Earth for each person. Following the armistice, the Nadesico returns to Earth, and the crew is disbanded. While everyone else goes home, Ruri remains on the ship, stating she has nowhere else to go. The game features 2 types of choice points, those with a time limit, indicated by a clock icon, and those that influence the protagonist's personality and affect the narrative branching, which the article refers to as behavioral. Ruri spends her days alone on the Nadesico. The protagonist is assigned as a live-in maintenance worker but primarily serves as security, also experiencing isolation. One night, strange footsteps are heard. Investigating reveals the footsteps belong to Ruri, who has bypassed the ship's AI, Omoi-kan. She appears, asking, "Is it okay?" Later, in a more lighthearted moment, Ruri, seen in adorable frog and cat costumes, takes the protagonist to the Miss Maru house. The page also mentions a choice point where various characters, including Minato, Eureka, Akatsuki, and Yuribatake, volunteer to take Ruri, but Eureka ultimately wins custody through a rock-paper-scissors match. The game promises surprising developments for Ruri and the protagonist's relationship. This page details the life of Eureka and the protagonist after leaving the Nadesico and moving to the Miss Maru household. Eureka's father, Kuichiro Miss Maru, is a strict figure who immediately assigns the protagonist to numerous chores, including cleaning and cooking, leaving them exhausted. Ruri, who is now living with them, frequently makes sarcastic remarks, but Eureka remains a kind source of support. Gameplay mechanics are highlighted, including the feeling check feature, which allows players to monitor the moods and feelings of the female characters, such as Ruri and Eureka, and how they change based on the choices made. The page also introduces Irina Kinju,
the president's secretary of Heinergel Heavy Industries, who visits the protagonist's room. Irina speaks mysteriously, showing interest in the protagonist, but their amnesia prevents them from understanding her intentions. Later, the page describes an argument between Yurika and Koichiro concerning Akito Tenkawa. During this heated discussion, Yurika resolves to leave the house and decides to take Ruri with her. They then go to Akito's place, where he surprisingly accepts them into his small room without hesitation, much to the protagonist's wonder at his kindness. The protagonist continues to face daily struggles, including Ruri's harsh critiques of their cooking, stating unequivocally that bad things are bad. This page continues the story from the previous one, detailing Akito and Yurika's life after leaving the Mismaru household. Without a job, they decide to open a ramen stand. They seek help from Uribatake, who is introduced as a seemingly scientific type, but is actually a repairman under the thumb of his wife. Despite his situation, Uribatake agrees to build them a special ramen cart. However, Uribatake's creation, an over-engineered cart capable of deploying a distortion field, proves problematic and quickly fails, earning a cold evaluation from Ruri. Nevertheless, they manage to open a regular ramen stand. Ruri plays the Sharumara, attracting old friends, with Hikaru Amano being the first customer. Hikaru has left the military and is pursuing a career as a manga artist. Meanwhile, the protagonist grapples with their memories, shown by the act of discarding a photo only for it to inexplicably return with a message of encouragement. The page also highlights a moment of happiness for Yurika and Akito, who take a break to watch their favorite anime, Geeky 3, at the cinema. While watching, Yurika gives the protagonist an envelope containing a surprising invitation. It's for Yurika and Akito's wedding party. Finally, the page mentions a side activity in the game, collecting Geeky cards. There are 32 different types to find, with some rare cards requiring specific conditions to obtain. Collecting them all seems to be a significant challenge over multiple playthroughs. This page features a special report on the upcoming game, Friends, a youth romance simulation game from NEC Interchannel. The report indicates the game is 88% complete and is scheduled for release this autumn, notably supporting the expansion RAM cartridge, suggesting it's for the Sega Saturn. The core premise revolves around a 6-night, 7-day reunion of middle school tennis club classmates after a 4-year gap. The stage for this drama is a lodge called Blue Forest in Hoshikori Plateau. There are 13 attendees in total, 5 boys and 8 girls. The narrative explores how relationships have changed over the intervening years, focusing on forgotten loves, childhood friends, and the impact of the 4-year separation. The page showcases some of the female characters in swimsuits, hinting at events taking place in a summer setting. It also mentions the game features full-spec motion graphics and high-quality anime-style event scenes to deeply convey the youth drama. The report also includes a compatibility flowchart to help readers see which girl they might be most compatible with in the game, promising further character introductions in the next issue focusing on new screenshots. This page presents the compatibility diagnosis flowchart for the upcoming Sega Saturn game, Friends. Following up on the introduction from the previous page, this chart is designed to help players discover which of the girls in the game they are most compatible with. Starting from the left, players navigate through a series of questions or scenarios related to dating and personal preferences, following the yes/no or branching paths indicated by the arrows and dotted lines. Each path leads to a specific outcome, culminating in one of the 8 type results, ranging from A to H. Once the reader has followed the chart to their designated type, the page prompts them to check their compatibility, suggesting these types correspond to the different female characters featured in the game. It's a classic relationship quiz format, translated into a fun, interactive element for the magazine to engage readers before the game's release. This page details the results of the compatibility diagnosis flowchart for the game, Friends, focusing on the first 2 personality types, Type A and Type B. Type A is described as the high hopes type and is linked to the character Kobayakawa Mizuho. The text suggests that if you are someone with high aspirations and earnest feelings, you are a perfect match for Mizuho, who is described as the school idol, admired by all the male students. The artwork shows Mizuho in 2 scenes, one a close-up portrait and another of her sitting by a lake with swans. Type B is presented as the second best type, and is associated with the character Akiyama Midori. This type is characterized as someone who pays more attention to supporting roles and supporting cast members, rather than the main characters.
and who values substance over flash.
The text states that if you are this type, you are very compatible with Midori, highlighting her very kind personality. It adds that Midori is still hurt and troubled by a past breakup with someone named Yosuke, and suggests that you should heal her heart. The page features artwork of Midori, including a close-up portrait with her signature glasses, and another illustration of her leaning on a railing outdoors. This page continues the compatibility diagnosis for the game Friends. Type C is the Transformation Desire type, ideal for those who want to make their plain existence glamorous or unlock their hidden potential. This type is compatible with Makoto Kano, who transformed from a plain middle schooler into a popular model. The page displays artwork of Makoto, including a portrait wearing sunglasses and another image of her outdoors. Following this, Type D is the baby type, for those seeking a comforting partner who can heal a tired heart. This type is well suited for Momoko Aoki, described as having soft skin and rich life experience, who will listen and provide blissful moments. Artwork for Type D shows Momoko in a pink kimono and another scene of her looking at an apple. This page continues the compatibility diagnosis for the Sega Saturn game Friends. Type E is the pure love-seeking type, represented by Kanako Sakurai. While she might appear playful at first glance, Kanako is described as a girl who straightforwardly pursues the person she likes. She is a good match for players looking for a single-minded partner. However, the text notes she has a surprisingly mature side, so treating her dismissively might hurt her feelings. The page includes a main illustration of Kanako and a smaller portrait. Following this is Type F, the supportive love type, featuring Ayu Wakabayashi. Due to their childhood friend relationship, Ayu struggles to express her feelings. She's characterized as a girl who ends up supporting the romance between the guy she likes and another girl. She is like a younger sister figure, making her a very suitable partner for players seeking such a dynamic. Artwork shows Atiyu in a main portrait and another image depicting her outdoors at night. This page continues the character compatibility diagnosis for the Sega Saturn game Friends.
First up is Type G, the blustering type, featuring Shizuka Ogata. Shizuka is described as a girl who is easily hurt but puts on a tough facade to hide it. The page includes a main illustration of Shizuka and a smaller image showing her in a bar scene, perhaps highlighting her more mature or vulnerable side. The analysis suggests she is a good match for players who tend to show off or worry excessively, implying that an honest approach would be beneficial in a relationship with her. Following is Type H, the trendy-oriented type, represented by Miyuki Murata. Miyuki is highly interested in the latest products, trends, and dating spots, and she constantly reads magazines for information. One illustration shows her main portrait, while another depicts her excitedly holding a prize from a claw machine, reflecting her interest in popular things. She dreams of visiting all the new places in Tokyo. The text advises players who are well informed about Tokyo's latest spots that they would be a perfect match to guide her around the city. This page features the Sega Saturn game Neon Genesis Evangelion, Merry Companions, an adventure mahjong title released on November 5th for 6,800 yen. The game brings together characters from popular Gainax anime like Neon Genesis Evangelion, Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, and Gunbuster, Top Wo Nare, for a dream crossover mahjong tournament. Players can enjoy matches featuring various combinations of these beloved characters. The game includes a story mode with a unique parallel world scenario and highlights character reactions during mahjong matches as a key point of interest. Character introductions with illustrations are shown for major Evangelion figures like Shinji, Asuka, Rei, Misato, Ritsuko, and Gendo, detailing their roles in the tournament's narrative, such as Asuka trying to get Shinji to play for her wish to become a lover. It's positioned as a must-see for fans of these series due to the unexpected and entertaining character interactions across different anime worlds. This page continues the coverage of the adventure mahjong game, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Merry Companions, highlighting the inclusion of characters from other popular Gainax works. Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, and Gunbuster, Top Wo Nare. The story mode allows players to choose one of three protagonists: Shinji, Jin, or Noriko. By winning mahjong matches, you advance the plot in an adventure game format, with each character having their own wish they hope to achieve through the tournament. A key feature is enjoying unique conversations between characters from these different anime universes. The free match mode offers complete freedom. Characters unlocked in the story mode become available here. You can set up matches with any combination of characters you like,
and it notably supports 4-player mahjong for a more authentic experience. The page also provides introductions for key characters from Nadia, such as Jean, Nadia, and Marie, and from Gunbuster, including Noriko, Kazumi, Jungfreud, and Coach OHTA, explaining their personalities and roles in the crossover mahjong event. Screenshots showcase both 2-player and 4-player mahjong layouts. This game truly brings together beloved characters for unexpected interactions over a mahjong table.
This page introduces Device Rain, a new project from the developers of the popular UQ series. Unlike their previous works, which were often fantasy or comedy-focused, Device Rain is described as a hard SF adventure simulation set in a realistic, near-future Tokyo. The article highlights its shift to a more dramatic tone, incorporating strategic battle elements and an original system. The story follows a high school student whose ordinary life is shattered by the appearance of strange enemies and a mysterious woman wielding special weapons. This encounter pulls him into a world of international secret organizations operating based on new scientific theories, specifically mentioning quantum theory. The game is set in familiar Tokyo locations like Shinjuku and Shibuya. Currently reported at 20% completion, Device Rain promises a serious, near-future narrative, different from the studio's past titles. It's being developed by MediaWorks and is scheduled for a spring 1999 release as a single-player adventure simulation game. The character designs are handled by Mu, familiar from previous works. This page delves further into Device Rain, picking up from the previous introduction by detailing the inciting incident that kicks off the story and introducing the main cast. The narrative begins when protagonist Kuno Tokeya, an ordinary high school student, witnesses an attack on his classmate, Kasumi Haruto. This event pulls him, Kasumi, and their friend Hiragi Seishiro into a conspiracy involving new weapons and a secret organization. The page profiles the 3 key characters: Toya, the seemingly normal student; Kasumi, a Japanese German half-breed with a mysterious air; and Seishiro, Toya's friend who is loyal despite his pragmatic approach. Gameplay is presented as a semi-real-time, highly strategic battle system. Players navigate through area maps and adventure scenes, leading into tactical battles viewed from a quarter perspective. A key mechanic is binding time, where the time taken to execute a chosen command influences the turn order, demanding careful planning. The page also highlights the Opus system, describing these crystals as essential items found in-game that activate the new weapons, known as Argument. With over 100 types, combining Opus crystals allows for extensive customization of weapon abilities, suggesting that mastering these combinations will be crucial for success. This page dives into the world of Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Greed, specifically highlighting the strategy command book, Data Disk. It explains how this disk is designed to enhance the main game by providing special data that allows players to experience various challenging battle scenarios. The page features screenshots showing mobile suits and tactical battle scenes from the game, illustrating the type of gameplay players can expect. The core of the content details the process for utilizing the data disk. First, you need to launch the Strategy Command Book disk to save the special scenario data to your system's memory, and then you launch the main Giren's Greed game and load that save data to jump straight into the unique battles provided. Some of the scenarios included cover iconic conflicts from the series, offering fans ready-made strategic challenges. The page emphasizes how this data disk provides a way to enjoy the strategic depth of Giren's Greed by immediately engaging with specific, preset situations. It also mentions that completing these challenges offers a sense of accomplishment. This data disk seems like a great way for players to test their skills in pivotal moments from the Gundam universe. This page continues the focus on Mobile Suit Gundam, Giren's Greed, specifically detailing the strategy command book data disk. This disk is presented as a valuable companion, offering special save data that lets players jump directly into famous and challenging scenarios from the Universal Century timeline, such as major battles like the Battle of Odessa or the Solomon Campaign. The page highlights that while intended as a bonus for those who own the main game, the data itself can provide enjoyment even without it. A significant feature discussed is the animation gallery, which includes all the anime cutscenes from the game. Notably, Sunrise produced new animations specifically for this title. These high-quality scenes, depicting pivotal moments and battles, can be replayed at leisure. The page shows examples, like an intense mobile suit battle, and a scene featuring a Zaku 2 surrounded by soldiers, evoking classic Gundam imagery. Furthermore, the Strategy Command Book includes a making storyboard collection,
allowing players to view the storyboards for all the anime scenes, providing insight into the production process. There's also a terminology explanation section with illustrations designed to help players, particularly newcomers, understand the various terms and concepts from the extensive Gundam universe, making the game more accessible. Overall, the page presents the data disc as a rich package of bonus content, enhancing the Gifren's Greed experience through challenging scenarios, rewatchable animations, production insights, and a helpful glossary. This page delves deeper into the Strategy Command Book data disc for Mobile Suit Gundam, Gifren's Greed, showcasing the specific battle scenarios included. These special save data points allow players to instantly jump into pivotal moments from the one-year war, offering different starting turns, player factions, and unique challenges. Featured scenarios include starting the game at turn 1 with the ability to play as the newly introduced Third Force, offering a fresh perspective on the conflict. Other historical battles presented are the Battle of Odessa, both as the attacking Federal forces starting at turn 30, and the defending Zeon forces from the same turn. The intense Solomon campaign is available from turn 70 for the Federal forces, and the final climactic attack on Abawa Kwa can be played from turn 90, again as the Federal forces. Finally, the Zeon perspective on the attack on Jaburo is presented in the Fallen at Jaburo scenario, starting at turn 45. Each scenario description provides a brief overview of the situation and includes a difficulty rating indicated by stars, giving players an idea of the challenge ahead. This data disc serves as an excellent way for players to revisit key moments or tackle specific difficult battles without playing through the entire campaign from the beginning, providing significant replay value and strategic depth. This page continues showcasing the diverse scenarios available in the Strategy Command Book data disc for Mobile Suit Gundam, Gifren's Greed. These special datasets drop players into unique moments of the one-year war, challenging their strategic prowess from various starting points and perspectives. Featured here are scenarios like the Sunset of the Principality, pitting Zeon or the Federation against each other near the war's end, with a tough defense of Kilimanjaro for Zeon. Approaching Zeon and its inverse, Threat of the Federal Forces, present challenging situations with minimal starting strongholds for the Federation and Zeon respectively, forcing immediate confrontation. The Federal Power and Advancing Zeon scenarios grant players maximum technology levels from the outset, focusing on overwhelming force, though Advancing Zeon withholds some event-based units. Finally, the New Power and Unsealed scenarios unlock powerful hidden units, like the GPO-1 Full Burner, Titans Gundam, Wrigglegoo, and custom mobile suits for legendary pilots like Char and Kazval, allowing players to experience late-game unit power early on. Each scenario includes a difficulty rating indicated by stars, offering a quick gauge of the challenge. The page also features screenshots showing map layouts for the scenarios and character/unit profiles, like Kazval's custom Gundam and pilot Marion Welch, highlighting the specific content available in these save data packs. These scenarios offer exciting what-if possibilities and instant access to climactic battles or powerful units. This page features the Legend of Heroes series, highlighting the upcoming release of The Legend of Heroes in and 2 on the SEGA Saturn. A vibrant illustration dominates the page, depicting the main characters alongside a formidable black dragon. A smaller screenshot shows a dialogue scene with character portraits and basic RPG stats like HP, level, and gold. The game is announced as 100% complete and set for release on September 23rd for 6,800 yen. A message from the manufacturer expresses gratitude for the player's patience following a 2-month delay. The page also provides a brief history of the series, listing the original Dragon Slayer, the Legend of Heroes games, I through IV, and their initial releases on various PC platforms. Reviewer comments describe the series as, at first glance, ordinary, but emphasize the subtle depth and exquisite balance that make it truly special. They highlight the low-stress design, non-childish characters, and the ease with which players become immersed. The sentiment is that the game's quality is perhaps understated and not always fully appreciated. A personal note expresses a fondness for the stories in The Legend of Heroes 2 I and IV. The series is presented as a classic fantasy RPG that, even when played today, is easy to get hooked on. This page details the opening narrative of The Legend of Heroes Int, following the setup introduced on the previous page. It begins by describing the world of Isruhasa and the once peaceful kingdom of Farlane under the benevolent king Asuel. However, a sudden monster attack leads to the king's death, and his young son, Celios, is sent to the frontier for his safety. 10 years later, in Chapter 1, The Prince's Departure, 16-year-old Celios prepares for his eventual return to the throne, but faces a similar attack. He narrowly escapes to the capital, only to encounter the treacherous Agdam. Thankfully, a resistance group rescues Celios, and spurred by a newfound determination, he joins them. With new allies, including the priest Lihianan and the mage Lo, they venture towards the Belga mine. Chapter 2, Silent Spell, sees Celios and his companions liberate the Belga mine from Agdam's forces and return to the capital. They confront Agdam, obtaining the Silent Spell, a powerful magic.
Overcoming obstacles, they head towards the town of Riesel, their next objective. The story continues from there, with Celios liberating Riesel, restoring peace to Farlane, and then pursuing Agdam, who has fled. They gather information from King Justin, and meet Sonia of the Resistance in La Hulfa, preparing for further battles in the next kingdom. The page is illustrated with screenshots showing the game's top-down perspective, character portraits during dialogue, and player stats, giving a clear view of the classic RPG gameplay.
This page details the opening story of The Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, a sequel to the game discussed on the previous page. Set 20 years later, King Celios of Farlane has a son named Atlas. As part of his comingofage, the 15-year-old Atlas is called to the capital and sent on a journey to visit other kingdoms, a key part of his training. Strange events begin occurring worldwide, leading Atlas to seek his father, King Celios, who has departed to investigate. Atlas soon finds himself embroiled in these mysteries, joined by companions like the priestess Lys and the fighter Jordo. Their journey takes them to the Raxuela kingdom during its dragon festival, where they encounter unexpected obstacles and monsters. The story deepens as Atlas follows a path his father took, leading into a vast underground world.
There, he and his companions are captured by the powerful Gestian Empire. The page explains that Atlas must now lead a fight for justice against the Empire to rescue his father, with help from the Resistance. Screenshots throughout the page showcase the game's classic top-down RPG perspective, displaying town and dungeon maps, character dialogue portraits, and the party's status information. It provides a clear overview of the game's setting, protagonist Atlas, and the setup for his grand adventure in this sequel. This page delves into the combat and magic systems of Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, alongside introducing some key characters. The combat is highlighted as not being strictly turn-based, with character speed influencing action order, leading to a somewhat chaotic flow. An auto-battle feature is available, but the page notes a potential downside where characters tend to concentrate attacks on enemies with low HP. The page also details the magic system, explaining that the game features characters primarily skilled in either weapon attacks or magic. It specifically mentions that magic in Legend of Heroes 2 differs significantly from the first game, using a capsule system where spells become temporarily unusable after casting until their associated capsule recovers over time, rather than using MP. Several characters are introduced. Atlas, the protagonist shown in the header portrait. Giles, a returning thief character from the first game known for his agility. Cindy, a strong attacker introduced in this game but lacking speed. Flora, a noble girl from the Raxuela kingdom specializing in healing magic. And Landar, a wandering mage who is proficient with both magic and weapons. The page classifies Giles and Cindy as weapon-focused, and Flora and Landar as magic users, though Landar is noted as versatile. Screenshots display the battle interface showing character stats and combat, including other party members like Sonia, Lys, Jordo, and RO. This page dives into Steam Hearts for the SEGA Saturn, a vertical scrolling shooter. This particular version is a remake by the original development staff and is noted for its graphical renewal and is recommended for players aged 18 and older, partly due to the inclusion of evocative event scenes featuring the game's cast of anime characters. The game supports simultaneous two-player action, adding to the fun. The narrative centers around saving entities known as embryos who have been infected by a virus, causing chaos on their home planet. Steam Hearts offers 3 distinct ways to play. The main Saturn mode integrates the story, featuring character dialogues and special scene graphics that appear during gameplay and after defeating bosses. For players solely interested in the shooting mechanics, the arcade mode removes the story elements entirely, focusing purely on the action and displaying scores. Additionally, a score attack mode challenges players to achieve high scores on dedicated stages. The page highlights the game's exhilarating shooting feel and the high quality of this renewed version. Steam Heart's story unfolds stage by stage, starting with Rebels Blow and Fala fighting Master Embryo in the marine area, battling Sheila. Stage 2 features a battle against a virus-infected Helmi machine. Stage 3 moves to Blow's homeland, the factory area, ruled by IARs. Stage 4 introduces Empress Prat and Alvarte's challenge. Stage 5 involves accessing Prat's location in the ruins of Westina Kurun, guarded by Leifan. The narrative culminates in space, with a final confrontation between spaceships and mechs. The game emphasizes both action and character development through a blend of screenshots and illustrations.
This page features the SEGA Saturn real-time simulation game Balladland by Banpresto. Despite its cute, comical appearance featuring round orange characters called Ballady, the game is described as a serious, full-fledged strategy title. Players take on a godlike role, guiding the Ballady tribe to victory against rivals. The core gameplay involves managing the tribe, giving instructions for work, building structures, creating tools, and ultimately attacking enemies in a map-clearing objective. The article highlights that while controls are simple, the strategic depth is significant. Key mechanics revolve around increasing the tribe's population and managing a gauge, which is vital for enabling actions. Letting the Ballady play outside helps accumulate this gauge, and a larger population increases the speed it fills. The typical flow of a stage involves building up the population and gauge, creating necessary tools and facilities, and then launching an attack once prepared. Balladland was released on November 19, 1998, as a single-player strategy game. The developer notes suggest it will strongly appeal to simulation fans, emphasizing the importance of starting with good numbers of Ballady and buildings. This page delves further into the strategic depth of Balladland, specifically focusing on the 4 key job types available to the Ballady tribe and their vital roles. As mentioned previously, wisely assigning your Ballady to different professions is crucial for success. The 4 jobs are worker, builder, soldier, and scientist. Workers are essential for increasing your population. Placing them in buildings causes their numbers to grow over time, and their gauge powers specific player actions. Builders construct and repair buildings, needing their gauge filled by being outside before they can build. Soldiers are your combat force. Their gauge fills when they are outside, allowing them to use explosive items, while direct combat is described as a simple punch. Scientists, operating inside buildings, are responsible for inventing new tools and items, requiring their gauge to work. They are also the ones who utilize these invented items.
The page also highlights other critical elements for game progression.
Buildings come in various types, like bases and research labs, providing different functions. Scientists create numerous items and traps, which are vital tools for overcoming challenges. Finally, direct player actions are possible, allowing you to intervene by altering the terrain or taking other direct commands. The strategic interaction between managing population, utilizing the gauge for each job, building infrastructure, developing technology, and employing combat forces forms the core gameplay loop. This page features an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn game Steam Hearts, a sci-fi shooting game with dramatic visual scenes and full voice acting. The artwork prominently displays a cast of anime-style characters, some with distinct animalistic traits, against a backdrop of space and fiery effects. The game boasts beautiful visuals designed by Takahiro Kimura and includes intense shooting sequences that fully utilize the game's mechanics. It's described as a completely renewed port, handled by the original staff. The advertisement confirms the game's release date as September 23rd, with a price of 6,800 yen, excluding tax, and notes that it is restricted to players 18 years and older. Small screenshots showcase both character event scenes and what appears to be gameplay. This page is the Reader's Submission Corner, where fans get to share their thoughts and experiences, aiming for the title of Submission King. It's a mixed bag of comments and anecdotes, offering a glimpse into the lives and minds of SEGA Saturn enthusiasts. Readers touch on various topics, from dreams about playing Dreamcast games, oddly featuring something called Desu-sama, to reflections on the changing times and the decline of finding insects like beetles in the countryside. One particularly relatable submission talks about having 2 SEGA Saturns, only for their brother to trade his black Saturn for a Nintendo 64. A true console rivalry heartbreak, apparently leading to tears. Another reader comments on the magazine itself, feeling that SEGA Saturn magazine is losing its characteristic edge lately. Amidst the text, there are some fun illustrations, including fan art featuring characters like Ruru from the Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari series, whom one reader particularly likes. There's also a small drawing related to a Godzilla virtual pet, asking if others are collecting them. The page also explains Infinite Komanga, a relay-style manga where the artist of one panel designates the creator of the next, keeping the submissions flowing. It's clear this corner is a vibrant space for the community to connect and share their passion and frustrations with the Saturn and gaming world. This page of Letters Park King showcases fan perspectives on the SEGA Saturn and gaming. Love Squared highlights passionate letters, including one praising Madu Monogatari's character Ragnus, and another discussing endearing characters from Shining Force Gaiden 2. Game Buying Boy/Girl details the challenges of acquiring games, from finding rare Saturn titles to dealing with store staff. One anecdote recounts the ironic sight of the notorious Death Crimson being advertised. Another reader was thrilled to obtain a gray Saturn with a rare OS version. Prison Sea Room offers more intense opinions. A reader criticizes Mazinger Z's weak portrayal in Super Robot Wars. The page concludes with a touch of humor, courtesy of a letter from the toilet, and includes illustrations like manga strips, enhancing the community engagement. Letters Park explores SEGA Saturn community sentiment, primarily focusing on the upcoming Dreamcast, with fan reactions, hopes, and anxieties. The page features discussions on game-related humor, referencing Doraemon and quirky terms like cheesebit and marshmar, along with a section dedicated to reader dislikes. The illustrations include Sakura Wars-esque characters, Sonic the Hedgehog, and summer-themed art. The page acts as a community hub, inviting submissions across various sections like daily occurrences, fan art, reflections, game experiences, manga, and character/game adoration. Specific columns cater to diverse interests. Reader contributions include birthday anecdotes, baseball references, and affection for Puyo Puyo's Arle Naja, highlighting the community's diverse interests. This page is The Park Gallery, showcasing fan-submitted artwork from readers. Continuing the community interaction theme from the previous Letters Park section, it features a diverse collection of illustrations based on popular games and anime. You'll see art for Shining Force 2i, Radiant Silvergun, Pia Carrot A Yukoso 2, with one piece highlighted as This Week's Best. Characters resembling those from Evangelion, Black Matrix, Psychic Force 2012, and Dead or Alive. There are also pieces referencing Slayers in the comments, despite the associated art being Radiant Silvergun, and a fun baseball-themed illustration. The next theme for submissions is announced as Bakken Loader. The page also outlines submission guidelines, explaining how to send in your art and text, and details the point system where contributors can earn book coupons or SEGA Saturn software for their entries. It's a great snapshot of what the community was into at the time, and their creative talents. This page is a comprehensive mail-order catalog from the SEGA Saturn specialty store, Santa. It features extensive lists of SEGA Saturn software, including both new releases and previously owned or defective items, alongside a wide array of official and third-party peripherals, like controllers, memory cards, and connection cables. Beyond the Saturn focus, the store also offers a selection of games for older SEGA systems, specifically the Mega Drive and Game Gear. Each listing includes the price for the item. The page provides detailed instructions on how to place an order, accepting requests via both telephone and fax. Multiple payment methods are available to suit customer preference, including cash on delivery, bank transfer, cash sent via registered mail, and postal transfer. Shipping costs are clearly laid out, starting at 400 yen domestically, with adjustments for different regions. The store's operating hours are listed as 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Monday through Saturday, with Sundays being a regular holiday. Contact information, including phone and fax numbers, the store's address in Tokyo, and even a website URL, are provided, making it easy for potential customers to connect and place orders from anywhere. The next page features a special cinema review of the anime movie, Spriggan. It highlights the film as the latest evolution in anime, with Katsuhiro Otomo credited as overall director and Hirotsugu Kawasaki as director. The review, written by Nozomi Omori, discusses the movie's impressive action sequences and effective use of computer graphics, noting how it pushes the boundaries of anime expression. The reviewer praises the blend of traditional animation and CG, particularly in depicting the action and characters like Yu Amane, Jean-Jacques Mond, Fat Man, and Colonel McDougal, as well as elements like Noah's Ark. The article also touches upon the film's origins as a popular manga, and draws comparisons to other groundbreaking anime like Akira and Ghost in the Shell,
emphasizing the movie's success in delivering a high-quality, adult-oriented action experience.
Screenshots from the movie are included alongside the text, showcasing the visual style. This page features a column series titled Saturn Times, exploring various aspects of Japanese culture, particularly focused on otaku and personal interests. The left column, Disgusting Game Otaku, Be Humble to Others, delves into the self-perception and public image of game enthusiasts, discussing the concept of being unpopular and the importance of humility in navigating social interactions within the subculture, all illustrated by Miso Suzuki. Meanwhile, the right column, Discover Your Own Excitement Spot, written by Hounen Tsuruoka and illustrated by Henmaru Mashino, explores deeper, more niche aspects of otaku culture, discussing personal fetishes and unique trigger points for passion and excitement. A small note at the bottom celebrates the unexpected appearance of the Saturn spirit among Yokohama Baystars fans after the baseball team won the championship, highlighting how fandom can appear in surprising places. This page features a collection of personal columns under the title Hyper Column Free Talk Gallery. The first column is About Director Kojima, where the author recounts meeting Hideo Kojima and discusses his background, noting Kojima's early aspiration to be a film director. The column highlights the cinematic influences in his work, specifically referencing Metal Gear Solid and the film Escape from New York. The author praises Kojima's dedication and the quality of Metal Gear Solid. An information note mentions Kojima recently traveling to Portugal and England. The second column, Ikebukuro Sarah's Virtual Crash, features Sarah Ikebukuro discussing her recent gaming experiences, focusing on Quake 2. She shares her impressions of the game's 3D graphics, noting the difference after installing a 3D accelerator board, and describes the gameplay loop. An information section provides a URL for her homepage and mentions the PlayStation game Guiken 2. The third column, This Week's Yukun, is a short piece featuring a photo of a child. It describes taking the child, Yukun, to visit a river and attend kindergarten, noting his relaxed demeanor. This page is a personal column by Something Yoshimatsu titled, Sega's Games Are the Best in the World. The column takes a humorous, somewhat exaggerated approach, using military metaphors to describe the console war landscape in Japan in 1998. Yoshimatsu passionately expresses his strong support for Sega, even if it's considered irresponsible within the magazine. He discusses the tough market situation where the PlayStation holds a significant 80% share, humorously referencing the PlayStation Army, and even a new type of Pokemon bomb from the Nintendo Army. The column depicts the Sega Saturn as making sacrifices for the future, with characters representing the console saluting and declaring they will die for Sega. Despite the impending launch of the Dreamcast on November 27th, Yoshimatsu notes that new software for the Saturn is still being released right up until the Dreamcast sets sail,
showing the commitment of its users.
He expresses excitement for the Dreamcast's future journey. The column uses cartoon characters embodying the consoles to illustrate these points throughout. This page is titled Chin-Chi Kore, The City, and humorously asks if it isn't about time they start filming The City 2. It's a community page dedicated to the game The City, featuring reader contributions and staff interactions. Key sections include Favorite Bad End, where readers share their most memorable negative outcomes from the game, often accompanied by sketches. Another section, This Week's The City Gag, presents funny takes or real-world recreations inspired by the game, like a photo of someone mimicking a scene in a tunnel. The staff in charge, known as the City Idiots, Ume and Tetsu, introduce themselves with photos and brief notes, including comments on TV shows like GTO and Dora-chan. There's a call for reader submissions for various corners, covering everything from favorite bad ends and characters to theories about a potential sequel. Finally, the Seeing in the City corner shares reader sightings related to games, and this week's Tower Records tip mentions the Shibuya store and a specific recommendation by Miko Hosoi. The page is vibrant with reader artwork and enthusiasm for the city. This page features a column by the composer Kuji Hayama, titled Kuji Hayama's Men's Empire, with the impactful subtitle, No matter how much money you pay, you can't buy health. Known as Aniki, by game music fans, particularly after his involvement with the Super Aniki series. Hayama delves into lifestyle, urging readers to question if they work too much and suggesting they deserve to treat themselves better. He reflects on his demanding schedule as a self-managed musician, handling much of the administrative work himself while still managing to produce a high volume of music, like 20 songs a month. Hayama contrasts this with his past struggles with poor health in his 20s, wondering how he managed intense live shows and recordings back then. He also shares an anecdote about a friend who prioritizes enjoying life with his family over relentless work, a lifestyle Hayama clearly admires. He ponders the futility of earning money if one sacrifices health and the ability to enjoy life. While he currently enjoys driving as a hobby, he notes he's become a much more sensible driver than in his youth, avoiding conflicts to protect his ability to work on the 3 game titles he's currently involved with, acknowledging that losing that income would be a significant blow. The page also briefly mentions his connection to the Super Aniki series through related album releases like Empire. This page presents a comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, covering releases from November 22, 1994 through September 17, 1998. This is an essential resource for any Saturn enthusiast, designed to provide a quick overview of the system's extensive library. The page explains how to interpret the data, which includes average scores from reader polls and the magazine's own review team, as well as compatibility notes for peripherals and age ratings. The main content is a large, multi-column table listing games chronologically by release date. For each title, you'll find details like the developer or publisher, original price, game genre, and the aforementioned review scores and peripheral support information. It's a straightforward, factual listing, allowing readers to easily track releases and compare review data across the Saturn's lifespan. This page continues the comprehensive software databank for the SEGA Saturn, serving as a vital resource for enthusiasts. It lists games released throughout late 1995 and into early 1996, providing essential data for each title. The list includes notable games such as Virtua Fighter 2, Sega Rally Championship, Street Fighter Alpha, Guardian Heroes, SimCity 2000, Rayman, Dragon Ball Z Shin Butoden, and Clockwork Knight 2, alongside a wide variety of other genres. For each entry, the table details the publisher, original price, genre, and provides average scores from both reader polls and the magazine's own reviewers. It also indicates compatibility with various peripherals, including the mouse, multiplayer adapter, steering wheel, and analog controller, offering a quick overview of each game's requirements and reception within the community at the time. This page continues the extensive software databank for the SEGA Saturn, presenting a detailed list of game releases primarily from March through June of 1996. It functions as a vital resource for players, providing key information in a large table format. Each entry includes the game number, release date, title, manufacturer, original price, genre, average scores from both reader polls and the magazine's reviewers, and notes on peripheral compatibility. This section covers a diverse range of titles, highlighting major releases of the period. Among the notable games listed are the critically acclaimed Panzer Dragoon Zwei, the strategic RPG Dragon Force, the competitive fighting game The King of Fighters 95, the action title Virtua On, Cyber Troopers, the adventure game Snatcher, the classic shooter compilation Gradius Deluxe Pack, and the dark RPG Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner. The table also includes a variety of other genres, like simulations, puzzles, sports games, and more obscure releases. The included reader and magazine scores offer insight into how these titles were received by the community and reviewers at the time, while the compatibility notes inform players about required peripherals like analog controllers, multiplayer adapters, or the mouse. This page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, chronicling releases primarily from July through October of 1996. This extensive list provides essential details for each title, including release dates, publishers, original prices, genres, and crucial compatibility information for peripherals like the analog controller, multi-tap, mouse, and even specific light guns or communication cables. The databank offers valuable insight into how games were received, featuring both the magazine's own review scores and average reader scores, reflecting the community's opinion at the time. As a veteran player, seeing this list brings back memories of many classic Saturn titles. This section includes pivotal releases, like the groundbreaking Nights into Dreams, a masterpiece utilizing the new 3D analog controller, the competitive Virtua Fighter Kids, the explosive party game Saturn Bomberman, and the high-speed racing of Wipeouts. It also features the acclaimed Street Fighter Alpha 2, the destructive fun of Destruction Derby, and the start of the legendary Sakura Wars series. The Sega Ages series is well represented, bringing arcade classics like Outrun and Afterburner 2 home. The list covers a wide spectrum of genres, from action and shooters to puzzle games like Magical Drop 2, strategy RPGs like Shining the Holy Ark, and various simulation and sports titles, providing a comprehensive overview of the Saturn's diverse library during this key period. The next page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, presenting more titles released in late 1996, specifically highlighting software from November and December. This section provides essential details for each game, including the publisher, genre, and pricing information, alongside reader and magazine review scores, offering valuable insight into how these games were perceived upon release. Looking through the list, you see a great mix of genres hitting the system. There are classic shooters like Batsugun and Sexy Parodius, alongside major RPGs such as Lunar, Silver Star Story, and the strategic masterpiece Tactics Ogre. The list also features significant series entries like Shining the Holy Ark and the iconic light gun action of Virtua Cop 2. Fighting game fans were treated to the massive crossover event Fighters Megamix, while puzzle enthusiasts could enjoy titles like Shanghai Great Moments. It's fascinating to see the scores awarded by both the magazine and readers, reflecting the diverse tastes and high standards of the time. This page truly captures the breadth and depth of the Saturn library during this crucial period. This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software databank, moving into the releases of 1997, covering titles launched from January through April. Like the previous entries, it provides vital information for each game, including the developer, genre, price, and both reader and magazine review scores, giving a snapshot of their reception at the time. The list highlights a wide range of software hitting the Saturn. You see notable arcade ports like Virtua On, Daytona USA, Circuit Edition, and Die Hard Trilogy, alongside popular Japanese series like Sakura Wars, Hanagumi Taisen Columns, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. RPG fans were treated to titles like Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse, while action game enthusiasts could pick up Mega Man 8, Metal Heroes, and Assault Suit Lanos 2. The inclusion of games like Theme Park, Simulation Zoo, and sports titles shows the system's varied library. The scores and support notes offer insights into which games resonated most with players and critics, and what peripherals might be useful. This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software databank, focusing on games released in May and June of 1997. These months saw a significant influx of titles covering a wide array of genres, truly highlighting the Saturn's diverse appeal. You'll find fantastic arcade ports, like the iconic Metal Slug, the vertical SHMUP Galactic Attack, and the classic collection Salamander Deluxe Pack. The system also received strong console exclusives, including the popular dating sim Sentimental Graffiti, the tactical masterpiece Dragon Force, and the beloved Saturn Bomberman. RPG enthusiasts had plenty to dive into, with titles like Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner, and the unique Samurai Showdown RPG. The variety doesn't stop there. Sports fans got PGA Tour 97 and the Multi-Sport Challenge Decathlete, Athlete Kings. Fighting game aficionados could pick up DX Hired or the quirky Waku Waku 7, and puzzle lovers enjoyed Magical Drop 2i and Puyo Puyo 2. Unique experiences like the Cinematic D's Diner also appear. Review scores indicate strong reception for many of these titles, with games like Sentimental Graffiti, Saturn Bomberman, Metal Slug, and Magical Drop 2is earning high marks from both readers and the magazine, showcasing the quality and breadth of software available during this period. This page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, covering games released from August through October of 1997. It lists a significant number of titles across a wide spectrum of genres, showcasing the diverse offerings available on the system during this period. Notable international releases featured include the survival horror classic Resident Evil, the intense fighting game Last Bronx, the action-packed Mega Man X4, Marvel Superheroes, the tactical Mobile Suit Gundam Side Story, the Blue Destiny, the Essential Street Fighter Collection, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, the challenging SHMUP Dodonpachi, the beloved strategy RPG Super Robot Wars F, Mech Warrior 2, the popular 3D fighter Dead or Alive, All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua, and Lost World, Jurassic Park. The databank provides reader and magazine review scores, highlighting several high-performing titles. Lunar, Silver Star Story MPEG Edition received a strong reader score, while Thunder Force vs. Special Pack earned high marks from both readers and the magazine in the shooting genre. Other well-regarded games include the action platformer Silhouette Mirage, the adventure title Desire, the strategy RPG Super Robot Wars F, and the fighting game Dead or Alive, all demonstrating critical and popular success. An intriguing entry is the strategy RPG Zelda Nashiruto from SEGA, which also received very positive scores, although it remains quite obscure. Overall, this period demonstrates the Saturn's continued strength, with a mix of arcade conversions, console exclusives, and entries across popular series, receiving generally positive reception from the magazine and its readers. This page continues the extensive software databank, detailing SEGA Saturn releases primarily from late 1997. You'll find a wide variety of titles here, from arcade ports to console exclusives. Some standout games receiving high praise from readers and the magazine include the highly anticipated RPG Grandia, the excellent strategy RPG Suikoden, the dark and stylish RPG Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, and the visual novel Kono yo no Hate de Koi wo Utau Shoujo Yuno, which received an exceptional reader score. The fighting genre is well represented with strong scores for the arcade hit X-Men vs. Street Fighter, noting its requirement for the 4 MB RAM cartridge, and Real Bout Fatal Fury Special / Dominated Mind. Other notable entries with solid scores include the first scenario of Shining Force 2I, the unique action RPG Princess Crown, the charming alchemy RPG Marie no Atelier, Solberg no Renkinjutsushi, the real-time strategy game Warcraft 2,
The Dark Saga, the classic SHMUP Rayforce, listed as Layer Section 2, and the Cute-em-up sequel Cotton 2. The list covers genres like racing, sports simulators, like JICU Powerful Pro Baseball S, puzzle games, Tetris S, and more niche titles like the strategy RPG Vandal Hearts, and the creation tool sound novel Tsukuru 2. The databank provides a valuable overview of the Saturn's diverse library during this busy release period.
This page continues the extensive software databank, primarily covering SEGA Saturn game releases from early 1998, specifically February and March. It's presented as a comprehensive table listing details like release dates, titles, developers, prices, genres, reader scores, and magazine scores. Several highly anticipated and critically acclaimed titles are featured here. The legendary RPG Panzer Dragoon Saga receives excellent scores, highlighting its significance. Sakura Wars 2.
Kimi Shinita Mukoto Nakare stands out with phenomenal scores, including a rare perfect 10 from the magazine reviewers, and an outstanding reader score of 9.6719, cementing its status as a must-play. Fighting game fans will note the strong performance of Darkstalkers 3, listed as Vampire Savior, which also scores very highly with both readers and the magazine, confirming its quality. And like X-Men vs. Street Fighter mentioned previously, it requires the 4 MB RAM cartridge. Gundam Giran's Ambition, a strategic simulation game, earned a very high reader score, indicating its popularity with fans of the series. Other notable entries include the popular sports title Winter Heat, the arcade racer Wipeout 2097, Wipeout XL, the light gun shooter House of the Dead, the classic collection Sega Ages, Phantasy Star Collection, and the beloved strategy RPG sequel Dragon Force 2, Kamisarishi Daiichi ni, all receiving solid scores from players and critics alike. Titles like The Legend of Heroes 2-1, White Witch and Command & Conquer also appear, adding further genre diversity to the Saturn's library during this busy period. This databank entry covers SEGA Saturn game releases from May to September 1998. It provides key details like genre, price, and review scores, offering insight into player and critic reception. May saw the release of Shining Force 2, iScenario 2, and the fighting game Guilty Gear, both well received. July and August brought a variety of titles, including Deep Fear, Sonic Jam, and the conclusion of the Shining Force 2 saga with Scenario 3. RPGs like Langrisser V and Linda Cubed Again, along with action titles such as Soul Divide and Astal, also made an impact. Princess Maker Yumemiru Yusei gained high praise. September featured Pocket Fighter and Sega Ages Volume 1, highlighting the system's diverse library and the gems that resonated with its fanbase. This page showcases strategy guides for two major mecha strategy titles. Featured prominently is the perfect guide for Super Robot Wars F Final, highlighting the conclusion of the epic battle where iconic mechs like Evangelion, Ideon, Gundam,
Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and Daytarn 3 fight to protect Earth. The text teases uncovering the mastermind behind the events, emphasizing it's a complete strategy for this highly anticipated title, noting its popularity by stating it was sold out in stores. Continued. Below this, another perfect guide is advertised for Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition. This guide is presented with a striking image of Char Aznable. It promises comprehensive coverage, including easy-to-follow map strategies, introductions to numerous in-game events and characters, a full list and conditions for weapon development, and essential tips for playing the game. It also covers 3 hidden modes, making it a complete guide for aspiring Giran's Ambition commanders. SoftBank published these guides. This page is a reader questionnaire postcard, asking for feedback from the magazine's audience. It includes sections for basic demographics like gender, age, and occupation, along with questions about the reader's SEGA Saturn software collection size and other gaming magazines they read. The core of the questionnaire focuses on reader opinions on the current issue's cover and articles, and how often they participate in surveys like this one. Crucially, it also asks readers about the types of articles they want to see in the future, and which hardware and software they plan to purchase, referencing extensive lists provided on the page for both SEGA Saturn and Dreamcast titles. This is how the magazine gathers vital information to tailor content and gauge market interest. This page features an announcement for the official guide to Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, the latest entry in the legendary mech fighting series. Prominently displayed is the iconic Temjin Virtuoroid. This comprehensive guide, priced at 1,500 yen and releasing mid-September 1998 as a 224-page A5 volume, is essential for mastering the game. It dives deep into strategies for each of the 11 playable Virtuoids, details control methods and attack techniques, explains the core game systems, offers tactics for challenging the CPU, and even includes an exclusive interview with producer Gorao Itoyama. Published by SoftBank, this looks like the definitive resource for anyone serious about the game. This page features a preview of the upcoming love-adventure game, Snow Spirit and Child of Man. Ruro no Yuki, scheduled for a December 1998 release at 6,800 yen. This title is recommended for players aged 18 and over, and is currently reported as 70% complete. The game explores themes of emotional connections and hidden desires, kicking off with an encounter with a snow woman during winter break that sets various stories in motion. The narrative delves into whom the protagonist cherishes most and the evolving relationship with his housemate, Ruri. The developers note that the Sega Saturn port includes revised events and added visuals. The page also introduces the key characters surrounding the protagonist and Ruri. This includes Wakaba Sonomura, a cheerful and lively sportsgirl in the basketball club known for her mischievous side. Her older sister, Futaba Sonomura, an excellent and quiet student who secretly wishes to break free sometimes. Yoko Nakagawa, a childhood friend belonging to the science club who is mature but can be clumsy and jealous. And Kaori Kyono, the protagonist's homeroom teacher and advisor for the Supernatural Phenomenon Research Club, who transforms into an occult enthusiast when the topic arises, and is extremely sensitive to cold. The developer expresses delight with the super cute artwork produced for promotional materials. This page continues the preview for Snow Spirit and Child of Man. Ruriro no Yuki, focusing on key characters and story points. It highlights the main character, Ruri, a kind-hearted snow woman whose sudden encounter with the protagonist kicks off the strange love story. The page features an illustration of Ruri, emphasizing her unique appearance and hints at her hidden past, which is a central mystery to be explored in the game's main story. The page also introduces 4 supporting characters. Hinomiya Ayaka, a beautiful exorcist with a dark past who targets Ruri. Mitsuya Miya, a mysterious girl from the protagonist's part-time job who strongly dislikes being touched. Hoshino Megumi, a bubbly member of the fortune-telling club. And Okusato Yukina, a snow woman who chose to live as a human, now married with a child. Each character is presented with a brief description and an illustration. An event pickup section highlights a new episode for the Sega Saturn version, featuring a first shrine visit with Yukina and her daughter, noting that this release includes new visuals and story cuts not seen before, such as Wakaba and Ruri's past scenes. This page previews the Love Adventure Game Season, a port of a popular PC title coming soon to Sega Saturn in November. Rated 18+, the game is described as being 88% complete. Season offers a unique structure where the protagonist and featured heroines change depending on the season, effectively creating 4 distinct scenarios. While the initial playthrough follows a set path,
Subsequent plays unlock multiple branching scenarios with various endings. The page focuses on the diverse drama across these seasonal stories. Two heroines are introduced. Hijiri Ayano, featured in the spring scenario, is portrayed as a refined but sheltered girl with no experience of love, and Nishizaki Sayaka, a bright and energetic club manager whose straightforward approach to her feelings makes for an interesting dynamic. The game promises lovely characters and the experience of feeling the four seasons through their interconnected stories. This preview details the love-adventure game Season, showcasing scenarios set in summer, autumn, and winter. The summer segment focuses on a protagonist, a weak young man, stranded at a pension with a childhood friend. Autumn introduces characters like a quiet, science-loving girl and a sporty, outgoing one, both with possible interest in the protagonist. The winter section features a cool, model-like character whose encounter with Suzuan, a young girl, sparks a change. The protagonist cares for Suzuan after the death of her relative, Misayo. A mysterious girl hints at a hidden character, possibly appearing in the autumn storyline, adding further intrigue. This page features the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Solvice, which is described as an action RPG that integrates card battles. Developed by Ultron and stated as 100% complete for its September 23, 1998 release, the game involves exploring 3D dungeons that change shape and collecting hundreds of magic cards called runes. The core gameplay involves using these rune cards strategically in combat to become a champion in the arena. The story focuses on two protagonists, Liud and Altina, each with their own motivations. Liud is on a journey seeking revenge for his foster father, who was killed by a rune knight. Altina is searching for her brother, who was once called the strongest combatant, but was also defeated by a rune knight. The page includes screenshots showing dungeon exploration, character dialogues with various NPCs, and rivals like Ash, highlighting the dual focus on action exploration and narrative-driven quests. This page continues the preview of the upcoming SEGA Saturn action RPG, Solvice. It details the game's prologue, which involves exploring a single, ever-changing dungeon to collect 20 runes. This introductory phase sets the stage for the main gameplay loop, battling in the arena to raise your rank, which is the primary way the story unfolds. The dungeon layout dynamically shifts each time you descend or ascend floors, adding a constant challenge, though you can easily return to the surface using specific items. The narrative differs based on whether you play as Liud or Altina, the mysterious girl covered in tattoos introduced here. As you climb the arena ranks, you'll encounter various rivals and key figures, like the brutal Destruction King Duarte and the cryptic Rico Rico, all seemingly connected to a powerful organization known as the Guild that controls the arena. Challenging opponents ranked above you is crucial for progression. The blend of dungeon exploration for runes and resources, combined with strategic card-based combat in the arena, promises an engaging experience as you uncover the secrets behind the runes and the Guild's influence. This page features a preview of the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, Gakuensai DX, from Make Software. This game builds upon the popular previous entry, bringing back the school festival theme, where you interact with cute girls met around the school and its surroundings. The gameplay is described as an adventure format, featuring map movement, leading up to intense mahjong battles. The ultimate goal is to achieve the best shot, which is tied to success in mahjong, and raising the muchimo degree of the characters. The game includes the 7 main characters from the previous game, plus 3 new sub-characters, all of whom have special CG events prepared. Winning mahjong matches allows you to take photos, adding a significant element of progression and reward. Additionally, the page mentions that the arcade version, Mahjong Gakuen 2, is currently in operation. This arcade title features characters from the previous Gakuensei, adding 2 new ones to the 4 sub-characters from the original. It uses a password system to allow players to resume their game. The story in the Saturn version, Gakuensai DX, is presented as a continuation, taking place the day before the school festival, and then as an epilogue to the arcade game. Gakuensai DX is listed as a stripping mahjong game for 1 player, rated for 18 and over, scheduled for release on September 23rd for 5,800 yen. The screenshots show character portraits, gameplay interfaces including mahjong, and a top-down map view of the school. This page continues the preview for Gakuensai DX,
heavily promoting the game's core concept of obtaining sexy photos. It reiterates that the player, as the Mahjong Club president, will face 9 formidable female opponents, 6 of whom will be depicted in seductive lingerie poses. The game features a playback mode to view previously acquired photos, and allows free battles against all 9 characters from the outset. The page introduces several of these key opponents, including Sari Hayami, a part-time model with notable physique, Kyoka Kaguya, the protagonist's kendo-practicing childhood friend, Makoto Akino, a college student who helps at her family's bookstore, whose matches lead to real-life scenes, Mayu Sakaki, a young tennis club member, and Ryoko Sakata, the student council president and a past rival from the previous game. Meiki Yuki is also featured with an illustration. Furthermore, the page highlights enticing purchase bonuses. Every buyer receives a pack of Mahjong Gakuin DX special character trading cards, with 32 different cards available in packs of 8. A more exclusive bonus is offered to the first 2,000 applicants, a luxurious 28-page full-color character original art collection, showcasing character poses and even original art from the stripping scenes. The page features examples of the trading card art and sketches from the art book, underlining the collectible nature of these bonuses for fans of the series. This page provides an exciting preview of Magical Night Dream's Cotton Boomerang, highlighting its imminent release on the SEGA Saturn. It proudly declares the game is 100% complete and details how it significantly evolves the series' gameplay. While visually similar to previous titles, the system changes are substantial, making it a distinct experience from Cotton 2. The core of the game is a team battle system, where players select 3 characters from a roster of 8. This shift is complemented by the introduction of a new melee action, Punch, capable of clearing certain projectiles. Key gameplay mechanics are explained, including the power-up system driven by collecting items dropped by the unique Aita Jizo statues, and upgrading shots via crystals up to level 5. A temporary barrier offers protection from a single hit. Furthermore, the fan-favorite command shot returns, joined by the new tail shot, allowing attacks behind the player, adding tactical depth. A crucial change item enables switching between pre-selected characters, granting temporary invincibility during the transition. Mastering the timing and stock of these change items is vital for survival. The page emphasizes these new systems and character dynamics as the major advancements in Cotton Boomerang. This page dives into the early levels and the diverse abilities of the characters in Magical Night Dream's Cotton Boomerang. It previews the first 3 stages, noting the completely revamped terrain and enemy layouts compared to previous titles. Stage 1, Ganseki Mountain, starts in a forest before heading to a rocky area culminating in a fight against the familiar Onokonbo boss, whose attack methods remain unchanged. Stage 2, Arrow Castle, takes you through an ancient castle in the clouds, filled with obstacles and projectile-heavy enemies, including the mid-boss Ash and the powerful Viora MK2 boss. Watch out for the falling Aita Jizo statues. Stage 3, Pirates Island, challenges players on a sunken ship with hindering masts and the Hell Octopus boss, along with the evasive Chochokin Rapsu mid-boss. Destroying terrain is key here to clear paths. The page then breaks down the 8 playable characters and their unique skills, crucial for the team battle system. Each has a primary element for their main shot, fire, wind, ice, or light, and a distinct subweapon with varied properties like Normal Cotton's close-range twist, Patsukan Cotton's straight focus, China Cotton's wide sector, Normal Apply's spreading wing, Pink Apply's 6-directional homing, Black Apply's penetrating pierce, and Silk and Needle's light-based search and spread shots. Notably, Black Apply, Silk, and Needle boast faster movement speeds. This wide array of abilities highlights the strategic depth brought by the character switching mechanic. This page showcases Capcom Generation Volume 2, Ghosts, Friend Goblins, and Knights for the SEGA Saturn. This collection brings together 3 legendary, notoriously difficult action games: the arcade classic Ghosts, Fon Goblins, its arcade sequel Ghouls on Ghosts, and the Super Famicom hit Super Ghouls on Ghosts, presenting them as a single package. The page highlights that these are the definitive versions of masterpieces, well known to gamers of the era. It details the inclusion of a special collection mode alongside the games, which offers valuable historical materials like period flyers, instruction cards, and even game design documents for each title, adding significant value for fans. Described as the origin of action games, the series is celebrated for its challenging but ultimately rewarding gameplay.
where initial frustration gives way to exhilaration upon mastering the difficult stages. The page also briefly touches on the series' premise, following the Knight Arthur's quest to rescue Princess Prin Prin from demons, noting the series' signature requirement of playing through the game twice to see the true ending. Screenshots from all three included titles are displayed, giving a glimpse into the different eras and styles of these iconic platformers.
The next page dives deeper into the individual titles featured in the Capcom Generation Volume 2 collection, continuing the look at the legendary Ghosts Can Goblin series. It details the mechanics and highlights of the original Ghosts Din Goblins, noting its simple controls, the famous armor-losing damage system, and the addictive challenge of hidden items. It moves on to Ghouls and Ghosts, discussing its significant graphical leap, unique atmosphere, and enhanced gameplay, including upward and downward shots, and the introduction of powerful magic. The page mentions the challenging 4-scrolling stages featured in this sequel. Finally, Super Ghouls and Ghosts is covered, highlighting the key change of replacing upward/downward shots with the versatile double jump ability. This allowed for more complex stage designs, filled with traps, increasing the action further. It also notes the various weapon power-ups available through different armors, like the Flame Spear or Light Knife. A dedicated section focuses on the eternal rival, the Red Arimer. Presented as a character both hated and loved by players across the series, the page features screenshots of its appearances in different games, acknowledging its status as a recurring nemesis for Arthur. The page provides a brief profile for this iconic demon. This page features two distinct titles. First up is Zoku Hatsukoi Monogatari, a continuation of the first love-themed simulation game. This entry focuses on experiencing romance across 4 different eras or generations: elementary, junior high, high school, and college. Featuring 15 attractive heroines designed by renowned artist Akemi Takada. The game promises a colorful look at first love through various encounters and scenarios, aiming to see whose affection you can capture. Screenshots show character portraits and an in-game scene hinting at some dramatic moments during a trip. Below that is Digital Monsterver, Digimon Tamers. This Sega Saturn title brings the popular Digimon franchise to the console. It's a tamer simulation where you raise Digimon. The big draw here is the inclusion of Digimon from the original Ver 1 through Ver 4 virtual pets, plus unique Digimon for the Saturn game, bringing the total to over 50 types. The core gameplay involves raising your Digimon, battling through stages, and collecting medals to become the strongest tamer. There's also an album feature where you can view detailed data, including evolution charts, for all the Digimon you've encountered and raised. Screenshots show battles featuring Digimon like Greymon and Metal Greymon, as well as the data viewing interface. It looks like a comprehensive package for Digimon fans at the time. This page showcases 2 essential companion books for fans of the beloved Sega Saturn strategy RPG, Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die. The first is a comprehensive strategy guide, detailing routes for pursuing specific characters, providing story summaries, and breaking down battle tactics. It's designed as an official guide to help players navigate the game's intricate systems and numerous possibilities, offering high-volume data and a special binding for ease of use. It is a full-color, 464-page volume, intended for release in late September, priced at 1,800 yen. The accompanying image features the main cast of the game. Below that is a collection of original artwork and setting materials for Sakura Wars 2. This book is described as a definitive source for everything related to the game's Imperial Capital world. It contains character designs, concept art, Kubu mech details, CG visuals, and complete interviews with the cast and staff. As bonus items, it includes a poster by Hidenori Matsubara and a papercraft model of the Imperial Theater with chibi characters. This, a 4-sized book, is 160 pages long, also scheduled for a late September release, and priced at 2,000 yen. A striking portrait of Sakura Shinguji is featured alongside its description. These 2 books offer deep dives into Sakura Wars 2, catering to players seeking strategic mastery and those wanting to explore the rich artistic and narrative foundations of the game. This page delves into the early game strategy for Slayers Royal 2 on the Sega Saturn, a captivating RPG released in September 1998. Moving beyond simple story progression, this guide focuses on the game's field map, providing players with essential details about locations within the Kingdom of Reynard. The page highlights key story points, beginning with the pursuit of a stolen amulet, encounters with mysterious characters like Alicia and demons, and introducing the central mystery of the 6 sealed towers built by the sorcerer, Lay equals Magnus. Detailed breakdowns of significant areas are presented, including Doltad and Reynard City, complete with images and lists of available facilities like inns, shops, restaurants, and specific plot-relevant spots, such as the thief's hideout and the initial sealed towers. The guide also points out optional events, like a vampire hunting job in Southern Central Road that triggers a unique scene for Gory. This walkthrough covers the game's progression from the arrival in Doltad up to shortly after the party's encounter with the second sealed tower,
offering players a roadmap for the initial stages of their adventure. This page continues the deep dive into Slayers Royal 2, moving beyond the main quest to explore the crucial world of sub-events. It emphasizes that many optional events are easily missed, often triggered by simple actions like talking to townspeople or making specific dialogue choices. The guide highlights several key side quests, including the Rumor of the Thieves, which involves tracking down a hideout based on gossip, and the Iron Ore event, linked to a hidden scenario important for Slayers fans. Obtaining the Iron Ore requires completing the Vampire's Cave event, where you confront a vampire named Frensburg, although you don't get money immediately. Defeating her causes her to reappear later, offering chances to earn cash. Another notable event is the Ghost of the Sorcerer's Guild in Reynard City, a late-night encounter where the party battles ghosts released due to internal guild conflicts. The outcome of talking to Sylphiel in Reynard City is also pointed out as impacting the story's progression. Beyond events, the page offers tactical advice for the game's battles. It notes that magic casting takes time, requiring players to plan ahead and use formations like the reverse triangle. Frontline characters should use quick attacks, while those in the back deliver powerful spells. Status effects like fullness and stamina, influenced by eating and rest, significantly impact combat effectiveness. The guide also stresses the importance of identifying and exploiting enemy weaknesses with the right magic, encouraging players to experiment. This page continues the walkthrough for Slayers Royal 2, focusing on the quest to reach a specific tower guided by Roberto from Dolhauta. Near the tower, the party encounters Alicia battling Zelgalatus. After aiding Zelgalatus and defeating Alicia, it's revealed that Alicia is, like Zelgalatus, a chimera. Now a party of 4, they head for the tower rooftop but are confronted by Alicia again. The guide details clearing the tower floors, which are guarded by guardians. These enemies primarily use magic and require a tactical approach, emphasizing the effective use of spells like Arc Beam. It also highlights Zelgadus's combat prowess, noting he is a powerful magic swordsman who excels with spells like Elmechia Lance. His defense is high, making him a good frontline character alongside Guri, especially considering Naga is less effective defensively. Upon reaching what appears to be the top floor, the party again encounters Alicia. Naga questions her about the original's location. A shocking event occurs that triggers Naga's memory return, but she only recalls things up to a certain point. Mistakenly believing she owes a debt, Naga abruptly disappears from the party. The tower structure is simple, mainly involving ascending floors and defeating guardians. The main goal is to defeat Alicia on the rooftop to obtain the sealed orb located beyond her room, which must then be taken back to Dolhauta. After retrieving the sealed orb and reporting to Robert, the party in Dolhauta has several optional quests. These side adventures are recommended before progressing to the next main story tower. Notable sub-events include delivering a letter to Mylene, potentially sparking romance, and collecting Raymond grass from a monster-filled forest north of Dolhauta. The forest is a one-way trip, so players must gather all the grass needed before leaving. Heading west, the party encounters thieves, with a road encounter featuring the return of Frysburg the vampire, seeking vengeance. The second main tower is the next challenge, with speculation surrounding Alicia's presence, potential hidden treasures, and Naga's current activities. Lena and Gowry are shown outside the tower, which mirrors the previous one they conquered. This guide focuses on navigating the western mountains in Slayers Saturn, prioritizing item acquisition. The sealed tower is recommended for its efficiency. Players gain experience and money by fighting enemies, notably using Gowry's sword skills against guardians. Ancient gold coins are found within the tower, specifically at a dead end between floors. The guide includes a diagram of the tower's layout. Upon reaching the rooftop and finding the book, a crucial dialogue choice concerning Sylphiel influences the ending. The book should be kept initially. The item shop in the back alley offers a good price for ramen grass, even in small quantities. The guide's tone is direct and helpful, providing strategic advice for progressing and uncovering secrets in the game. This page provides a comprehensive guide to Lina Inverse's extensive magic repertoire in Slayer's Saturn. It highlights that a key feature of the game is that characters can use powerful spells right from the start, which can be overwhelming for newcomers. The guide aims to help by listing all 28 of Lina's spells. Each spell is presented with its name, a description of its effect, and a screenshot showing it in action. This covers a wide array of magic types, including offensive elemental spells like Fireball, Flare Arrow, Burst Rondo, and Freeze Arrow, as well as more devastating techniques such as Dragon Slave and Ragnablade, which are among the most powerful black magic spells. There are also ground-based attacks like Daedal Brand and Grave Howl, mental attacks like Elmechia Lance and Gaz Bu Ro, and support spells like Recovery and Sleeping. The guide notes the strengths and characteristics of various spells, like the wide area effect of Burst Flare and Megabrand, the single-target electrical damage of Digbolt, or the powerful destructive force of Blastwave. The page also includes a section offering a rare item present, autographed Shikishi from the game's voice actors. This was a limited giveaway for one lucky winner. This page provides a strategic guide for players navigating the complex world of Wachenroder. Recognizing that the game's story can make it difficult to grasp the current situation, this guide offers a different perspective by mapping out the path taken by Lucian and his companions. It aims to help players understand the overall strategy by detailing the complete route from the beginning up to round 24, indicating where battles occur, and, crucially, highlighting the locations of save points. A large visual map accompanies a list detailing each stage and location, along with symbols marking save points and the appearance of black market shops, emphasizing the importance of utilizing these opportunities. This focus on navigation and save points is vital in Wachenroder, where understanding the flow of the journey is key to success. This page dives into the early rounds of Wachenroder, specifically covering rounds 1 through 8, detailing the crucial encounters and story beats from the Imperial Capital to the Azure Capital and the Psi Capital. It outlines how Lucian meets Carol after she is attacked in a bar, and their escape from the Imperial Capital with the help of Zap. The journey continues, with encounters leading to the recruitment of the quirky Chemical Brothers and the formidable Titus, who saves them from danger. The narrative then moves to the Azure Capital, controlled by the tyrannical Helder, where Lucian intervenes to save citizens, leading to an escape through underground waterways. The guide also mentions the Psi Capital, where they meet Georg and later the skilled swordswoman Leonora. The section concludes with the dramatic meeting with Durin, followed by the capture of Carol and Titus by Leonora. A strategic section provides advice on party composition for these early rounds. It notes that round 17 automatically sorties the full available party, but from round 8, player choice is required. The guide suggests focusing on developing Titus for his melee strength and Velvet for her long-range combat and recovery abilities, while noting Carol's eventual departure from the party. This provides practical advice for players navigating the initial stages and character dynamics. This section of Wachenroder follows Lucian's quest to rescue Carol, starting with their escape from the heavy D mine in round 9. Reuniting with Zappa and the Chemical Brothers, they navigate the mine to board a train to the Smoke Capital in round 10. In round 11, a failed breakthrough is aided by Georg and Leonora, leading to an encounter with Sword Emperor Leom in round 12, who reveals Durin is held in the Tower of Judgment. Lucian, with the Sword Emperor, assaults the tower, rescuing Durin in round 13. Facing Caliph in round 14, they win and escape. Round 15 brings a battle against Walter's Crimson Soldiers, led by Beryl, in the forest. The page also includes a shop guide, emphasizing cooling equipment and new enemy types. Team composition advice highlights Zappa's importance and suggests using Smol for his healing abilities, with a character availability chart provided. This section of Wachenroder covers rounds 16 to 24. Focusing on the party's journey through the Smoke Capital and GG Tower after rescuing Durin. Their primary objectives are to find Carol and the King, seeking information from Leom and Helder. The party explores the Wandering Tower. Around round 18, the story intensifies as they confront Vlad, the Emperor, and his plot to destroy the heavy water treatment facility. Lucian and the party infiltrate the facility, leading to Zappa's sacrifice. Afterward, they rescue Carol and the King from the Tower of Judgment. The final act involves pursuing Helder to the devastated Smoke Capital, where he prepares a devastating weapon. Key enemies like Mizal, Iwazaru, and Kikazaru, with unique weapons, are highlighted. The guide suggests party composition strategies, recommending a balanced approach
while training other characters.
This guide focuses on the SEGA Saturn version of Suikoden. It summarizes the game's early story, including the protagonist's flight to join the Liberation Army and becoming their leader. The guide then centers on a key early objective: recruiting Levant. Players are instructed to infiltrate his mansion, steal his sword, and then persuade him to join. Before attempting this, players should equip themselves at the armor shop. The guide details available facilities, including the inn and appraiser, but primarily focuses on the armor shop. Detailed item data, including headwear, shields, and armor, is provided, listing stats, prices, and special effects of various equipment, like the headband, iron shield, and different armor sets. The page is visually enhanced with character art, screenshots of pixel art environments, and battle sequences. This page continues the detailed guide for Suikoden on the SEGA Saturn, focusing on early game events and character recruitment leading up to establishing the headquarters. A handy list outlines characters you can recruit in the areas from Koan to the HQ, including Lorelei, Luku, Jupo, Levi, Eileen, Giovanni, Barracks, Kiri, Varkas, Sidonia, and Kirkus, along with brief notes on where and how they join your cause. The guide highlights key moments, such as the secret roulette minigame within Levi's mansion, which can yield various results upon landing on a question mark space, potentially restoring HP. It also details the dramatic reunion where, after stealing the sword from Levi's mansion, Levi joins your party to rescue his wife, Eileen, who has been captured by the Imperial Army. Shortly after, the former comrade Barracks returns and joins the Liberation Army. Finally, the page describes a sudden attack by an Imperial assassin on the protagonist during their journey, a battle you cannot win but must survive, before finding Kirkis at the port the next morning. Additionally, there is a section listing various accessories available in the game, detailing their defense stats, prices, and any special effects they might provide. This page continues the Suikoden guide, detailing events after leaving Koan. First, you'll journey through the Great Forest towards the Elf Village, a key location where Kirkis may join your party. The guide highlights the facilities available in the Elf Village, including shops selling essential items and armor like the magic robe. Next, the focus shifts to the dramatic events involving the female warrior Valeria. After visiting the Elf Village, you'll encounter Valeria, who has been imprisoned by the Imperial Army. Despite the initial mistrust from the elves, the Empire's actions lead to a change of heart, and Kirkus's lover, Valeria, attempts a rescue but is captured herself. She becomes a crucial ally upon her rescue, known for her powerful Great Rage rune. Finally, the guide covers the journey to the Dwarf Mountain. Unable to gain full cooperation from the elves, you rely on the dwarves to navigate the mountain path. In the Dwarf Village, you'll gain access to valuable items from their vault. Crucially, this village features a high-level blacksmith, essential for strengthening your weapons before facing tougher challenges. The Dwarf Village also offers item and armor shops. The page also includes a comprehensive rune data section, listing various runes, their levels, magic names, and effects, providing vital details for mastering combat. This page delves into the challenges within the Great Vault, described as the largest underground facility encountered so far, and provides strategy for tackling its boss. It highlights 3 main traps you'll need to navigate: the iron ball floor, which requires a specific lever sequence, middle first, then left or right; the floating floor, which follows a set path allowing you to reach treasure; and the sound switch, where you must input a code using pico and pon sounds based on a tablet. The guide also offers advice for the boss battle against Gihyak Fort. Likely a mistranslation or alternate name, probably refers to the boss of the Great Vault. It notes the boss is strong against fire but weak against lightning and wind. The strategy suggests focusing frontline characters on offense and backline characters on HP recovery using items. Basic boss data like HP and drops are provided. Additionally, the page lists characters who can join your party up to the Dwarf Village area, including Sansuke in the Great Forest Village, Moss the blacksmith, crucial for upgrading weapons as mentioned on the previous page, Vicky found wandering the Great Forest, Valeria, confirming her recruitment after rescue as noted previously, and Mies at the Dwarf Village Smithy if Moss has already joined. Finally, there's a section detailing various crests, likely runes in the English version, and their effects, along with combinations of magic crests, runes, to perform powerful combined spells. Black/Matrix's awakening system uses bloody points,
BP, to unlock weapon abilities. Players assign BP to weapons before battle, triggering specific abilities based on accumulated BP within defined ranges. For instance, a knife might require 20 BP for one ability and 21 for another. BP outside these ranges yields no awakening. The table details weapon abilities, their effects, BP cost, target, and required BP ranges. The presented data is preliminary, suggesting hidden abilities may exist. Players are warned that some awakened abilities could be detrimental. Screenshots illustrate the BP assignment process and awakened abilities on weapons like the Rune Axe, showcasing diverse effects. This system adds a layer of character customization beyond standard leveling and equipment. This page continues the in-depth look at Black/Matrix's weapon awakening system, following on from the previous explanation of how bloody points unlock abilities. It provides a comprehensive table detailing the potential abilities linked to various weapon types, specifically focusing on swords and axes in this section. The table lists different weapons, the potential name associated with specific BP ranges, the resulting potential effect, the BP cost to use the ability, the target of the effect, the crucial BP range required for the awakening, and any relevant remarks. This data is crucial for players looking to optimize their characters by strategically allocating BP to unlock powerful or unique weapon skills. The effects range from various forms of attack, stat buffs or debuffs, HP manipulation, recovery, consumption or absorption, to status effect negation or application, and even tactical maneuvers like swapping positions or forced movement. The remarks column often provides additional context or clarifies the nature of the ability, sometimes noting effects like graphic changes or abilities that bypass standard defenses. It's clear this system offers significant strategic depth in character building and combat in Black/Matrix. The next page continues the deep dive into Black/Matrix's weapon awakening system, following the explanation of how bloody points unlock abilities. This page presents more detailed data in a comprehensive table, specifically covering the potential abilities for spears/halberds, staves, and flails. The table breaks down each weapon type, listing the various potential names that can be awakened within certain BP ranges. For each ability, it details the potential effect, such as specific attack patterns, stat modifications like increasing or decreasing STR or int, HP's BP management, including absorption, consumption, or recovery, status effect application or removal, or even tactical movements like swapping positions or pushing enemies back. The table also clearly shows the BP cost to activate the ability, the target of the effect, and the crucial BP range needed for the awakening. Remarks provide additional context, like conditions for effects or graphical representations. This detailed information is essential for players optimizing their units and weapons to gain strategic advantages in Black/Matrix's challenging battles. The next page continues the comprehensive guide to Black/Matrix's weapon awakening system, building upon the previous discussion. This installment focuses on the potential abilities that can be unlocked for bows and whips. The detailed table lays out the various potential names accessible at different bloody point ranges for each weapon. For every ability listed, it provides a clear breakdown of its effect, covering a wide range from combat enhancements like damage adjustments and status ailments to tactical maneuvers like position swaps or knockbacks. The table also specifies the BP cost for activation, the target of the ability, and the critical BP range required to awaken that specific potential. Supplementary remarks offer additional details or conditions for certain effects, providing players with crucial data to optimize their weapon setups and gain a tactical edge in Black/Matrix's strategic battles. This page features a strategy special for Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, Evil God's Palace of the Ice Wall. The prominent text at the top sets a dramatic tone, stating, "This is the last chance. Save the future of the world, Julian." The page introduces the three main protagonists of the Shining Force 2I saga: Julian, Scenario 3, Synbios, Scenario 1, and Medion, Scenario 2. Brief profiles outline their backgrounds and connections. Julian, a mercenary seeking revenge for his father, encountering Synbios and Medion and becoming friends. Synbios, heir to the Republic's president, drawn into the conflict, and Medion, the third prince of the empire, also seeking his father's killer. A World Guide section provides context for Scenario 3 by summarizing the events of the previous 2 installments,
detailing the escalating conflict between the Republic and the Empire, the return of the ancient beings known as Hudol, and how the journeys of Synbios and Medion intertwine and ultimately lead to Julian taking center stage. The page highlights Scenario 3 as a simulation RPG for 1 player, released on September 23rd, setting up the final, climactic battle in this epic series where Julian and his allies face the ultimate threat. This page delves into the core systems of Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, acting as a system guide before the final strategy begins. It highlights the engaging 2D battle system, where character strength grows through weapon proficiency and mastering special techniques. The friendship support system is key, offering combat advantages based on bonds formed between party members, strengthening as they fight side by side. The visual prowess of the game is showcased, with impressive battle effects, utilizing the Saturn's DSP chip for vibrant explosions and transparencies. Practical features, like the 360-degree viewpoint control, and a navigation system with a guiding arrow enhance exploration. The page also emphasizes the narrative innovation of synchronicity, where actions and events resonate across the different scenarios, creating a dynamic world where the player's choices in Julian's story can impact the world glimpsed through Synbios's and Medion's eyes, a feature highlighted by the resonance of comrades examples. This guide provides a strategic overview for the first chapter of Shining Force 2, Scenario 3, focusing on the initial battles. The first battle on the flagship requires eliminating all enemies, mainly masked and Pegasus cultists. Effective troop positioning and careful use of the return command are recommended. The ship's supply shop inventory is included. The second battle is at Dystonia Port, where the objective is to defeat a masked cultist boss. The map features obstacles and enemy types, including hunter elves and Pegasus cultists. Narrow map design and the boss's magic necessitate lightning-resistant units for defense and careful strategic positioning. The guide further includes detailed enemy data for Chapter 1, like stats, weapons, magic, and special attacks of masked cultists, as well as information on other units. A future boss, Wulukyur, is also previewed with powerful electric attacks. Scenario 3 of Shining Force 2 continues at Dystonia Port Town. Explore the town's shops, headquarters, and hidden treasure chests containing items like swift boots. Pruding Bridget, a magic user, and Isabella, a healer, if equal is in the party, is recommended. Talking to the old man at the headquarters can lead to Dystonia's soldiers joining your team for the next battle. The third battle, the Trembling Wulukyur, is a narrow rocky map where you must defeat the evil cultist boss, Wulukyur. The boss uses a strong electric attack, utilize the terrain for cover, and, if recruited, the Dystonia soldiers to draw enemy aggro. Focus on protecting weaker units while using durable units to bait enemies. A hidden treasure, including a life ring, can be found. The town's connection to Melinda, and by extension Prince Medion, hints at a possible connection to the original Shining Force character, Arthur. This page continues the guide for Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, detailing the next 2 challenging battles. Battle 4, Wind Goliath, sees the return of Valkyrie with a wide-reaching electric attack. The goal is to defeat the evil cultist boss, Goliath. A key strategy involves using Gracia's shining magic to temporarily halt Valkyrie's potent Staff of Gloom ability, allowing the force to focus on the boss. Utilizing the wall indents on the map for cover is crucial to minimize damage. After the battle, Julian's party encounters Jane, and your response to her choice of whether to spare Goliath is critical, as answering yes is required later to recruit Lowry the Unicorn. The subsequent battle is Battle 5, Great Cavern, featuring a boss fight against a demon. This map is a series of brittle bridges over water, making positioning tricky. You'll need to navigate carefully, as some sections will collapse. The guide also points out how to recruit the Cyclops unit, Mandrake, by strategically defeating dragons on the map. A shop list is included, offering new equipment like the Master Rapier and various braces to strengthen your force. This page details Battle 6, the Dragon's Graveyard, in Shining Force 2I, Scenario 3. The objective here is particularly interesting. You must either defeat or recruit the White Dragon, Sauzer. This battle offers several potential allies depending on previous choices, including Lowry the Unicorn if you made the correct decision in Battle 4, Sauzer himself if you spare him, and even 3 green dragons, which can be recruited by having Mandrake,
the Cyclops recruited in the previous battle, deliver the finishing blow. The guide notes that Saucer's combat ability changes significantly if he joins your force, and the Green Dragons provide numbers but don't level up. Following the battle, the guide moves on to explore Foothill Village, a place steeped in the legend of the Divine Dragon. This village is crucial for plot progression, as it's the only way to reach the impassable Barry Fort. Events within the village, particularly those related to an anomaly involving the Divine Dragon Plate, change based on how you dealt with Saucer in the preceding battle. Visiting the village triggers an auto-event detailing the Divine Dragon's miracle. The village also boasts an item shop, weapon shop, and a forge. You can obtain stronger equipment by purchasing materials or finding items and utilizing the forge, making preparation here highly recommended before advancing towards the fort. The page includes lists of items and weapons available for purchase. This page covers Battles 7 and 8 in Shining Force 2I Scenario 3. Battle 7, titled Beast King's Roar, places your force before Barry Fort. The main objective is to defeat the Black Knight guarding the entrance. A notable event here is meeting Leon, a lion warrior, who can join your force depending on how you interact with him during or after the battle. The enemies include the Black Knight boss, Empire Knights, Destonia soldiers, and metal gunners. Battle 8, Border Fort, is a full assault on the fort itself, with the goal being to defeat General Defenda. This battle requires splitting your force to tackle the fort's defenses. A key mechanic is the fort gate, which can only be damaged by cannon fire. Reinforcements, including the boss Defenda General and plus loaders, emerge from within the fort as you progress. The guide suggests strategies for dealing with the cannons and reinforces, noting the need for fairy powder for certain units due to the boss's attacks. The page also includes a section detailing enemies encountered from Battle 5 through 8. This data provides essential statistics like HP, attack, and defense, along with special attacks and tactical tips for challenging units such as Grover, the White Dragon Saucer, the Black Knight, General Defenda, Empire Knights, Killerfish, and Ghouls. Before Battle 9 in Shining Force 2 Scenario 3, the guide covers Garthtown, a midpoint with a map highlighting item locations like healing herbs and currency. Princess Isabella and Pegasus Knight Honesty can join the party here, Honesty through a specific event. Battle 9, Ambush, begins after speaking with Honesty. The objective is to defeat a cult boss near a river. Key tactical elements include a bridge and a powerful area of effect attack from the boss. Enemy types include cultists, wing knights, and bear soldiers. A green dragon can also join. Losing Julian, Gracia, or Melinda results in defeat.
Melinda's status as an uncontrollable NPC makes her safety critical.
Battle 10 in Shining Force 2 Scenario 3 involves conquering the lighthouse and ancient bridge. The strategy focuses on defeating 3 bosses, one at the entrance, one inside the lighthouse, and a final one on the bridge. Utilize knights and flyers for scouting and cover behind rocks during initial enemy encounters, including mages, bird bats, and a Gigas armor. Reinforcements appear strategically. Inside the lighthouse, space is limited, and mages pose a threat. The drawbridge lowers after the interior boss is defeated, allowing access to the final boss. Protecting Escort Melinda is paramount, while Isabella should remain near the starting island. The Green Dragon can utilize water for cover. New members joining in Scenario 3 are Leon, a strong lion warrior, and Honesty, a Pegasus Knight. After a specific event in Garthtown, Melinda is a critical NPC central to the story. This page provides valuable data for players tackling the early battles in Shining Force 2I. It lists items that can be processed at the blacksmith, standard acquired items and weapons with their effects and costs up to Battle 10. The core of the page focuses on detailing enemy units encountered for the first time around Battles 9 and 10. This includes the Masked Evil Priest, Black, Gigant Armor, Hill Giant, Mercenary, Aspenia Mage, Wing Knight, Evil Religion Golem, Brass Loader, and Bear Soil Soldier. For each, the page provides their stats and a brief description or strategic note. For instance, the Gigant Armor is noted for its high HP and defense, along with a painful counterattack requiring careful recovery planning. The Aspenia Mage is highlighted for its use of Blaze LV3 magic at range, making it a priority target. This information directly supports strategizing for the intense battles like Battle 10 discussed previously, helping players understand the threats posed by these new enemy types as they push towards conquering the lighthouse and bridge. This page highlights the upcoming release of Falcom Classics 2, set to launch on October 29, 1998, on the Sega Saturn as an RPG/ADV title. The main focus is the newly unveiled opening movie for YS2, a key part of the compilation. The page features prominent artwork, likely from the YS2 opening, showing key characters such as Lilia. It also includes a section dedicated to recap the story of YSI, titled YSI All Adventures Started Here, displaying screenshots or art from the original game or its animated adaptations, featuring characters like Adol, Fina, Rhea, Dogi, and Dark Fact, summarizing the journey through Darm Tower and the search for the books of YS. Additionally, the page discusses an interview with the animation staff at Kyoto Animation, the studio responsible for producing the YS2 opening movie, delving into the process and inspiration behind bringing the classic game's introduction to life. The magazine promises a wealth of information leading up to the release.
This page features a deep dive into the animation portion of YS2 for Falcom Classics 2, presenting an exclusive interview with the staff at Kyoto Animation, who brought it to life. The interview covers the challenges and creative process behind the relatively short but impactful anime sequences, including the opening and ending, totaling around 5 minutes. The staff explained the technical hurdles of animating for the Saturn hardware, contrasting it with traditional TV anime production, specifically noting the limitations on frame rate and color depth, which required careful workarounds to achieve the desired visual quality. They also discussed the pressure of adapting a beloved series like YS for its dedicated fanbase, and the difficulty in animating specific characters like Lilia accurately. Despite the constraints and effort involved in crafting just a few minutes of animation, the team expresses their passion for the project, even joking about wishing they could have animated the entire YS saga instead of just the intro. The page includes photographs of the interviewed staff members and several captivating screenshots or art pieces from the YS2 animation itself, showcasing the character designs and key scenes, giving players a taste of the high-quality visuals awaiting them in the game. This page provides a walkthrough of the early to mid-game progression in YS2, guiding players from defeating the first boss up to the second. It begins by recapping Adol's journey to cure Lilia, the task that drives him forward. After defeating the first boss, Mantito, players explore the Rusty Ruins, also known as DEMD, where they can acquire crucial items like the Light Magic and the Celiceta Bloom, essential for Lilia's recovery. The ruins feature hidden areas that require clever use of magic to uncover. The guide then moves to the events in Lance Village following the acquisition of the Bloom, detailing the discovery of a hidden passage leading to the ancient priests and the YS books. This part of the journey reveals more about the world's history and Adol's destiny. Next, the focus shifts to the treacherous ice ridge of Norcia. This labyrinthine area presents new challenges with slippery ice and hidden paths, requiring the use of items like the Hawk Idol and Spirit Mantle to navigate effectively. The page highlights the second major boss encounter, ZAVV, waiting at the end of this icy dungeon. Finally, the page includes a section on the updated equipment screen, noting the significant addition of magic functionality and overall improvements to the interface, making it easier to manage Adol's gear and abilities. The inclusion of screenshots throughout visually demonstrates the areas, enemies, and game mechanics discussed. Asteka 2, Taiyu no Shinden, features a complex-looking but intuitive interface. The game's main window shows the current location, allowing interaction with the environment to find items. The item window lists acquired objects, which can be examined, washed, or broken. Icons initiate actions like look or take. The message window displays the game's narrative. The game emphasizes item combination, crucial for puzzle solving. Players select the combine icon and then 2 items to create new ones. Progression involves investigating areas, acquiring items, and using those items in different locations. This cycle of exploration and item use forms the core gameplay. Unlike many adventure games, interaction relies on the environment and items rather than conversations with NPCs. This page features Arcade Express Volume 29, highlighting new and currently running arcade titles, with a focus on a shooting game marking a return to the genre's origins. The main feature is Gunpei Fever Baron, described as a standard vertical scrolling shooter. It utilizes 3 attack types: a normal shot, fired by holding the button, a powerful shot, and a bomb. A key feature allows players to customize their experience by choosing from 3 different ship types before playing, each with a distinct normal shot pattern, concentrated, 3-way, or wide range. Additionally, there are 4 different ship speeds to select. This customization lets players find a combination that suits their style, encouraging experimentation.
The game boasts a unique and exciting score system. Beyond simply destroying enemies, players can rescue cyborg soldiers that appear, and collecting them increases your score. The number of soldiers corresponds to the number of enemies defeated. A novel element is that quickly defeating enemies speeds up the appearance of the next wave, leading to a potentially higher score. The game emphasizes simplicity, speed, and excitement, aiming to appeal to both beginners and experienced shooter fans with its scoring mechanics and flexible gameplay options, including simultaneous two-player play. Screenshots show the typical action of a vertical shooter with various enemies and bullet patterns. This page of Arcade Express highlights two promising new 3D fighting games hitting the arcades. First up is Eureka's Fighting Layer, an evolution of their 3D fighting system honed through the Street Fighter X series. It introduces a unique barrage blow gauge that fuels powerful special moves like the barrage blow, hard attack, and hard reversal, adding a strategic layer to the traditional 8-way lever and 6-button controls. Featuring 12 fighters converging on the Zacchaeus Islands for battle, this game is making its public debut at the upcoming AM show. Also featured is Saimate's first arcade venture, Toryu Densetsu Erandoru, fighting dragon legend Erandal. This game takes a completely different approach, putting players in control of masters riding dragons in a fully 3D, free-roaming combat environment. Movement is emphasized with high-speed dashing, and combat involves both standard attacks and powerful dragon attacks fueled by a special attack system. A key mechanic allows masters to be knocked off their dragons, adding tension. Set for a late October launch, this innovative title will also be showcased at the AM show. Both games are set to bring fresh experiences to the 3D fighting genre. Capcom's Hello! Capcom Volume 59 announces new merchandise and CD releases. Movic and Animate stores will offer metallic key holders, phone cases, and B2 posters featuring characters from Darkstalkers, Cyberbots, Mega Man Legends, and Rival Schools. Upcoming CD releases include the Street Fighter Alpha 3 soundtrack, 2 discs, a Rival Schools drama album, and the Tech Romancer theme song, Single, with a signed t-shirt promotion. The Daifusyu's Room section features fan art and encourages reader submissions. Capcom also hosts a character popularity contest, where fans can vote with points, positive and negative, and illustrations until October 16th. This page dives into Street Fighter Alpha 3, highlighting some interesting hidden modes. The main focus is on discovering new ways to play within the game's ISM system. First up is the classical mode, accessed via a specific button command at the start. This mode strips away many of Alpha 3's mechanics, like the super combo gauge, guard power gauge, air guarding, and air recovery, aiming to provide a more traditional Street Fighter 2-like feel. Next, the serious mode, or majestic mode, is explored. While it allows ISM selection, matches are decided in just one round. The trade-off is a significant increase in attack power, making for quick, intense battles that really test players' offense. Finally, there's a section dedicated to American comics, focusing specifically on the character Shumagorath. It discusses his origins in Marvel Comics as a powerful entity and how he made his way into Capcom fighting games like Marvel Superheroes, noting his unique design and impact despite being a relatively minor character in his comic appearances. The piece features photos of a gentleman, likely the author or presenter, Sheiki Akitomo, discussing the topic. This page focuses on Capcom's 3D giant robot fighting game, known in Japan as Kikai, and internationally as Tech Romancer. Revealed at the AM show in Tokyo Big Sight, the game boasts flashy battles and a unique story mode. The article showcases various dynamic battle scenes featuring different mechs, utilizing powerful, robot-specific weapons, emphasizing ranged combat over close-quarters fighting. The story mode is highlighted as a key feature, where conversational choices made during narrative sequences can significantly impact the game's progression and even influence the ending. A notable section on the page is a passionate plea to readers, a campaign to convince Capcom to port Tech Romancer to the Dreamcast. Drawing inspiration from the successful fan-driven port of Cyberbots to the SEGA Saturn and PlayStation, the article encourages players to send postcards requesting the Dreamcast version, promising that their voices will be heard by Capcom. It's clear the magazine and its readers have high hopes for seeing this arcade title on Sega's upcoming console. This page focuses on SNK, primarily highlighting the King of Fighters series and urging readers to stay updated with events. A key release is the King of Fighters collection, featuring KOF 95 and KOF 96, deemed essential for fans. KOF 95 is noted for Iori Yagami and custom teams, while KOF-96 introduces the boss team and the emergency escape system. KOF-97, with its Orochi Saga characters, also gets a mention. The Neo Geo Pocket is also showcased, previewing titles like Doko Demo Mahjong, Shogi no Tatsujin, and Baseball Stars. A section called Hyper Freaks features fan art of female SNK characters. Finally, the page promotes a postcard submission campaign for fan art related to SNK games, and mentions a popularity poll. This page dives deep into the highly acclaimed arcade racer, Daytona USA 2, Battle on the Edge. It reveals the existence of numerous hidden VR viewpoints beyond the standard 4, a feature rumored among players. The article explains exactly how to access these secret views by inputting specific button combinations, typically involving the VR buttons and the start button, during gameplay. Screenshots illustrate several of these hidden perspectives, including a high-top view, a unique view reminiscent of Scud Race, different driver's views offering varied perspectives from inside the car, a rear seat view, and even views seemingly attached to the front tire. The article notes the distinct feel and challenge each view provides, suggesting they offer a fresh way to experience the races. Beyond the viewpoints, the page briefly touches on other lesser-known features, such as the ability to change the radar range by holding start and pressing VR buttons, a no handicap mode for competitive play unlocked by pressing all 4 VR buttons before a race, and options for controlling the ranking display during attract mode. The reviewer enthusiastically encourages players to experiment with these hidden views, sharing their personal favorite is the view near the left front tire, finding it particularly intense for novice players aiming for first place. This comprehensive look at the hidden features underscores the depth packed into Daytona USA 2. This page features 2 official strategy guides released by SoftBank. The top half is dedicated to the guide for Daytona USA 2, Battle on the Edge, the much-anticipated sequel to the arcade racing giant. The guide promises to help players shave off precious tenths of a second, covering thorough strategies for various race modes and even tactics for using automatic transmission cars, put together by a renowned expert driving game team. This full-color guide is 96 pages long. The bottom half showcases the official guide for Dynamite Cop, known as Dynamite Deca 2 in Japan, highlighting its popularity in arcades. The guide is packed with strategies for every mission and boss encounter, delves into the unique tendencies of each playable character, and promises to reveal secrets about the detectives based on confidential design materials. A must-read for fans. The artwork features the game's distinct character designs, including the protagonist Bruno Dellinger and various villains, capturing the game's action-packed style. This guide is 2 pages long. Both guides are presented as exclusive SEGA official publications and were on sale at the time. This page is an exciting look at SEGA's lineup for the upcoming AM show, focusing on arcade titles that are strong candidates for eventual release on Dreamcast. SEGA, a powerhouse in arcade development known for high-spec boards like Model 3, is set to showcase several impressive games. The planned exhibit titles include the highly anticipated Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, the intense brawler Spike Out, the off-road racer Dirt Devils, the deep-sea shooter Ocean Hunter, and the unique Stress Busters. The main highlight is Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, a 3D shooting game that faithfully recreates iconic moments from the original Star Wars films. The article emphasizes the immersive experience, allowing players to feel like they are starring in the movies. It covers sequences from A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, even featuring sections where players can wield a lightsaber. Powered by the cutting-edge Model 3 hardware, the graphics are noted for their beauty and detailed modeling of ships like the X-Wing. With development 60% complete and a planned winter release, this title, previously featured in the magazine, is set to make its grand debut at the AM show, giving fans a first look at its stunning visuals and gameplay. This page serves as a direct guide to the 36th Amusement Machine Show, held from September 17th to 20th at Tokyo Big Sight. The focus is on checking out the latest arcade titles from various companies, particularly those with specs exceeding current boards and the potential for porting to Dreamcast. The main highlight featured is Star Wars Trilogy Arcade, specifically focusing on its faithful recreation of the iconic Death Star trench run from A New Hope. Even those unfamiliar with the movie will likely recognize this famous sequence. The game is broken down into sections: the space battle, the Death Star surface battle, and the intense trench run. Screenshots showcase the action with X-Wings, TIE Fighters, and the Death Star itself. It's noted that the ship control is automatic, letting players focus on shooting. The editorial department weighs in with a big prediction:
giving Star Wars Trilogy Arcade a 50% chance of a Dreamcast port. They express a strong desire to see this type of thrilling, focused arcade experience available on the home console. A brief comment from Sega AM12 Lab, the developers, confirms they are hard at work on the game for the Model 3 arcade hardware, dedicating day and night to recreating the famous scenes. They humorously add that their biggest challenge currently is maintaining their health, keeping vitamins and energy drinks handy. This page dives into Spike Out, Digital Battle Online, another highlight from the AM show. This is a groundbreaking online fighting action game from Sega AM2, the legendary team behind hits like Virtua Fighter. Set for a September launch on the powerful Model 3 hardware, Spike Out is presented as a next-generation arcade experience, uniquely focusing on cooperative play, with up to 4 players battling together. The striking character art features the core members of Team Spike, and the screenshots showcase intense multi-character brawls in detailed 3D environments. The game emphasizes communication and shared enjoyment, making the process of players, even strangers, learning to cooperate, a major part of the fun. The editorial team gives Spike Out a slightly higher chance of a Dreamcast port than the previous game, predicting a 55% possibility. The developers state that the game shown at the AM show is 100% complete for the demonstration and is truly a new type of network action game, inviting everyone to experience it firsthand. This page is dedicated to Dirt Devils, a thrilling new dirt racing game from Sega AM3, making its debut at the AM show. Running on the Model 3 hardware, this game emphasizes chaotic, action-packed multiplayer battles, where collisions are a normal part of the fun, supporting up to 4 players simultaneously. Players can choose from several distinct vehicle types, including buggies, trucks, and prototype racers, each offering a different feel on the varied and tricky courses filled with jumps and obstacles. The custom arcade cabinet is also highlighted as a unique feature. The magazine's editorial team predicts a 30% likelihood of Dirt Devils receiving a Dreamcast port, suggesting it will depend on the arcade version's performance. Sega AM3 encourages everyone to try their latest race simulation at the show. This page is an arcade feature spotlighting Sega AM1, Research's new gun shooting game, The Ocean Hunter, set to debut at the AM show and launch in September. Running on the powerful Model 3 hardware, this game takes players on a deep-sea adventure in a unique, different world reminiscent of Jules Verne novels. The objective is to battle and defeat terrifying sea monsters that inhabit the 7 distinct oceans, which feature varied environments like ruins, lakes, and icy regions. The article showcases several of the monstrous creatures players will encounter, including the elusive sea serpent, the imposing shark boss Leviathan, the unsettling giant squid named Sayela, and the deep-sea anglerfish Charybdis, highlighting the impressive graphics of these foes rendered by the Model 3 Step 2.1 board. A dedicated arcade cabinet is featured, noted for its unique gun controller designed like an aqua lung scooter, with the deluxe version including a recoil system for added immersion. The magazine's editorial team weighs in, giving The Ocean Hunter a 40% chance of a Dreamcast port, noting that while the graphics might be challenging but possible to reproduce on the console, replicating the custom cabinet is difficult. They also express a desire for features like a vibration unit in a home release. Finally, Sega AM1 Research provides a comment, stating they are bringing both The Ocean Hunter and another title, Stress Busters, to the show, and they are planning various events at the Sega booth for attendees to enjoy. Namco will showcase 14 arcade machines at the AM show 98. Highlights include Fighting Layer, a 3D fighting game co-developed with Eureka, featuring accessible combos and advanced techniques, alongside Street Fighter X characters. The Dreamcast port is speculated at 50%. Race On, a racing game with face integration, offers party game fun with simple controls. Gunman Wars, another face integration title, is a team-based shooting game where players steal diamonds, supporting up to 4 players. Both have a 20% Dreamcast port chance. Derby Quiz. My Dream Horse, a quiz game for horse racing fans, completes the lineup with a 10% chance of a Dreamcast port. Namco emphasizes its diverse offerings and encourages attendees to experience them. This page features Capcom's lineup at the AM show 98, showcasing 2 major fighting game titles. First up is Tech Romancer, a 3D robot fighting action game expected September 25th. This title features a variety of giant robots and combat styles, with design input from the legendary creator of Macross and developed by the team behind Cyberbots.
Screenshots show the dynamic robot battles and special move effects. The magazine suggests a 50% chance for a Dreamcast port. Also highlighted is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a fighting game based on the beloved Stardust Crusaders manga arc, planned for release this winter. Running on the powerful CP System 2i, it faithfully brings the characters and the unique stand fighting system to life. You can fight as fan favorites like Jotaro Kujo, Joseph Joestar, Kakyoin, and even Iggy, experiencing different story paths depending on who you choose. Screenshots capture the manga's distinctive art style in action, including memorable moments like Iggy's unusual fight. While only shown as a video exhibit, a Dreamcast port is speculated at 50% possibility, noted as challenging but feasible from the CP System 2i hardware. Capcom's booth promises exciting events for attendees to dive deeper into these worlds. Taito showcased 3 arcade games at the AM Show 98, with Dreamcast port potential highlighted. Chaos Heat, a 3D action game for the Taito G-Net system, features detailed environments and boss battles, with a 20% chance of a Dreamcast port. Operation Tiger, a gun shooting game, offers strategic gameplay and impressive sound, but has a low 10% chance of a port. Psychic Force 2012, a returning 3D fighting game, boasts updated graphics and gameplay with a 30% chance of a Dreamcast release, based on hints from interviews. Taito invited attendees to experience these super cool titles and participate in a Psychic Force 2012 tournament. Konami showcased its strong music game lineup at the AM Show 98. Building on the success of Beatmania, they announced 3 new titles, including potential releases for other games. Beatmania Third Mix, the latest installment, enhanced the DJ simulation with new modes and 2-player battles, along with a planned national tournament. Dance Dance Revolution, a dance simulation using foot panels, offered a fun, club-inspired experience. Pops Music, a unique simulation with 9 buttons, featured a vibrant style and catchy music, aiming to become a major hit. All 3 games showed strong potential for home ports, particularly on Dreamcast, with some challenges foreseen due to the unique controller designs. The AM Show 98 showcases several upcoming arcade games. Konami's Evil Knight, a 3-player horror gun shooter with branching scenarios and charge shots, is a highlight. Konami also previews Gradius IV, promising a return to its classic horizontal shooter gameplay. Cave's Dangun Feveron, a vertical shooter, emphasizes high scores and classic arcade action with a simple yet deep system. Finally, Jaleco presents Fuki's Ashura Blade, a 2D fantasy fighting game with simple controls, 8 characters, and weapon attacks. The page also offers a likelihood assessment of each title's potential Dreamcast port. Tecmo's AM Show 98 booth features several arcade titles. The main attraction is Dead or Alive++, a 3D fighting game sequel emphasizing counterattacks and new characters/costumes. Dreamcast port chances are slim. Flame Gunner, a 3D gun shooter from GAPS, is also shown, with low Dreamcast port likelihood. Success presents Cotton Boomerang, a shooting game with puzzle elements, targeting a September release, with a slightly higher chance of a Dreamcast port. Sunsoft showcases Shanghai Shinryu, a 3D mahjong puzzle game, with very little chance of a Dreamcast port. Other titles are mentioned but not detailed. This page dives deeper into the AM Show 98 lineup, previewing 3 more exciting arcade titles and their potential jump to the Dreamcast. First up is Cymate's Dragon's Dream, a unique 3D fighting game where you battle opponents while soaring through the air on dragons. It features combined attacks and emphasizes aerial maneuvering for immersive battles. The developer is confident in its quality, but a Dreamcast port looks unlikely, rated at just 10%. Next is Bloody Roar 2 from Aiding/Raising, the highly anticipated sequel to the popular fighting game known for its beast transformations. Get ready for faster, more powerful combat with the enhanced beast system, offering diverse combos and new Beast Drive special moves. The developers are eager for players to try the exciting beast transformations firsthand, and there's a 30% chance for a Dreamcast port. Finally, Seibu Kaihatsu brings the latest in the legendary shoot-'em-up series, Raiden Fighter's Jet. This installment amps up the score attack with a revamped medal system, featuring 32 types and stages that branch based on your performance. While packed with new content like stages and enemies, its Dreamcast port potential is also low, rated at 10%. This page previews more arcade hits from the AM Show 98, highlighting their potential for a Dreamcast release. First up is Slank's Samurai Showdown 64, Warrior's Rage, the follow-up 3D fighting game on Hyper Neo Geo 64. It evolves the swordplay mechanics with refined systems like the Shura and Rasetsu character variations, and a changed rage explosion. New characters, including Octagonal Gariyama with his giant brush, add fresh dynamics. The editorial team gives this a 50% chance for Dreamcast, expressing hope for a Neo Geo Pocket version with Dreamcast connectivity. Next is Sync's Hyper Neo Geo 64 gun shooter, Beastbusters: Second Nightmares. This game puts you in a hospital overrun by monsters, offering full auto shooting action with a targeting sight and powerful bombs. While already operating in arcades and boasting a dedicated cabinet, the editors are cautiously optimistic about a Dreamcast port, rating it at 55%. SNK, in their comment, points players towards Samurai Showdown 2 and other titles featured at the show. Finally, Saurus brings Shock Troopers: Second Squad on the MVS platform. This action shooter, scheduled for September, features simple controls for blasting through enemies after a military coup. Gameplay emphasizes exhilarating destruction with varied attacks, adjustable aiming, and even rideable vehicles, all tied into a detailed scoring system. The editors are most hopeful for this title on Dreamcast, giving it a 70% chance, citing the developer's positive outlook and renewed graphics. The AM Show 98 guide previews arcade games from Visco and Sikyo, with Dreamcast port potential discussed. Visco's offerings include Flipshot, a versus Blockbreaker, 40% Dreamcast chance; Gourmet Battle Chef King, a cooking quiz game, 30% chance; and Star Soldier on RX64 hardware, 10% chance. Visco also mentions a 3D soccer game, 11-Beat World Tournament, on RX64. Sikyo presents sequels: Gunbird 2, a flying shooter with new mechanics, 55% Dreamcast likelihood due to the first game's port, and Taisen Hot Gimmick Kairakuten, a mahjong game with adult content, 0.1% Dreamcast chance. Sikyo also teases Pilot Kids, a 3D shooting game, developed on Sega's CG board. This page features guidebooks for two significant Sega Saturn titles. The top section highlights the official guide for Virtua Striker 2, version 98. This is presented as the first official guide for the game, promising comprehensive support for players aiming for victory. The guide covers fundamental gameplay, tactical analysis of the teams, includes an interview with the development team held at a well-known soccer pub, introduces famous world players and their appeal, and even reveals hidden techniques. The bottom section showcases the official guide for Shining Force 2, I Scenario 3, subtitled Giant of the Ice Wall. This guide is for the concluding chapter of the three-part simulation RPG saga. It emphasizes how the story progresses based on player choices, impacting the fate of up to 60 main characters from across all three scenarios. The guide provides essential map data and strategy for the entire game, details the numerous main and enemy characters, includes data on hidden items, and is structured to prioritize information most needed by players. Both guides are scheduled for release in late September. The publisher is SoftBank Publishing. This page is dedicated to a weekly horoscope section for the period of September 18th through September 24th. It's titled, This Week's Hakozaki Fortune Telling, presented by Hakozaki's mother, an experienced fortune teller who apparently gives advice to the Sega Saturn magazine editors. A special Lucky Person of the Week is also highlighted, featuring a character born on September 30th, a Libra. For this character, overall luck, financial luck, health, work/study, and love luck are briefly summarized. The main part of the page provides horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Each sign's prediction is uniquely tailored and separated into advice for boys and girls, offering insights into the week ahead. For each sign, a lucky item is also listed. This section is presented as a lighthearted look at the week's potential fortunes for the magazine's readers. This Sega Saturn webpage, Hidden Techniques of the Extreme, showcases reader-submitted cheat codes and gameplay tips. The page offers a ranking system awarding prizes, including Saturn software and book vouchers, based on the difficulty of the submitted techniques. The page primarily focuses on techniques for two games. For Image Fight and X Multiply, cheats include a full power-up, stage select, and an extra ending trigger. For Magic Knight Rayearth, the page reveals methods for easily acquiring rare items and gaining magic through minigames and errands.
Screenshots accompany the explanations.
The page concludes with a call for submissions, encouraging readers to contribute their hidden techniques to be featured and potentially win prizes. The next page features the weekly SEGA Saturn software review section. This is where the editorial team plays pre-release versions of upcoming Saturn games to give their impressions and feedback, intended as a reference for potential buyers. Featured here is Soul Divide, the Sword of Darkness, an action RPG that blends dungeon crawling with a trading card system. Reviewers found the changing dungeons and card magic system unique, but noted a lack of in-game information and reliance on trial and error, which some found frustrating despite acknowledging the fun inherent in the discovery. Card collecting is highlighted as a major aspect, though comments mention long load times and limited movement options detracting slightly. While the core combat was enjoyable once understood, it receives an average score of 6.33, with average difficulty. Also reviewed is Capcom Generations Volume 2 Chronicles of Arthur, a collection bringing together 3 classic, notoriously difficult side-scrolling action games from the Ghosts on Goblins series. As expected, the high difficulty is guaranteed, challenging players with relentless traps and enemies that require precise movement and timing. Reviewers praised the accurate ports, bringing back vivid memories for fans. But some felt the speed might be slightly off compared to the originals, potentially making it even harder. It scores an average of 7.66 and is rated as difficult. The reviews feature comments from female users, staff writers, and guest writers, with a small section at the bottom introducing the contributors. This page features the weekly SEGA Saturn software reviews, giving impressions on upcoming games.
First up is Steam Hearts, a vertical scrolling shooter with adult themes. Reviewers found the dialogue crude, but the core shooting mechanics engaging, despite challenging bullet patterns. Some noted issues with load times during dialogue and overly powerful weapons, making the overall experience feel shallow after completion. Average score is 6.0 with a hard difficulty rating. Next is The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, an RPG collection. Reviewers who hadn't played the original PC version enjoyed the story and fast loading, but felt the graphics and music were dated compared to modern RPGs. Others found the fast character movement awkward and missed features like opening movies from other versions. The overall impression was mixed, with some finding the game system old-fashioned. It scores an average of 5.33 and is rated as normal difficulty. Finally, Kido Senka Nadeshiko, The Blank of 3 Years, an adventure game based on the anime. Reviewers praised the voice acting and rich visuals that capture the show's atmosphere, especially for fans. While some found the branching scenarios tedious for replays, others highlighted the well-developed story covering various genres and the bonus content like a vocal CD and collectible cards adding significant replay value. It receives a strong average score of 7.66 with a normal difficulty. Upcoming SEGA Saturn game reviews are in Shining Force 2i, Scenario 3, the conclusion to the tactical RPG, receives high praise for its strategic battles, visual enhancements, and satisfying conclusion to the story, earning an 8.0. Digital Monsterver. Smook, a Digimon raising simulator, allows players to train and explore with various Digimons, despite lacking online battles. Reviewers found the experience addictive, scoring it a 7.0. Mahjong Gakuen DX blends Mahjong with adventure elements, but receives mixed reviews. While the Mahjong gameplay is solid, the adventure integration and short playtime were criticized, resulting in a 5.0 score. This page is a reader giveaway feature from SEGA Saturn Magazine. Readers have the chance to win various prizes, including SEGA Saturn software. Among the items offered are copies of the game How to Become a Mage, sets of trading cards including Magic, The Gathering and Star Wars, a Tetris the Grandmaster t-shirt, and bookmarks featuring characters from Sakura Wars. There are images showcasing the How to Become a Mage game screen, trading cards, the t-shirt, and the Sakura Wars bookmark. The page also lists the rules for entry and the deadline for submitting applications, which is October 2nd. Additionally, a section lists the winners from a previous giveaway, showing names and locations of those who won prizes from the August 21st and 28th issues. This page proudly announces the release of the highly anticipated sequel, Slayers Royal 2, exclusively for the SEGA Saturn. The vibrant artwork features the main cast, Lena Inverse, Gori Gabriev, Zelgadis Greywords, and Emilia Wiltesla Saloon, ready for action. The headline declares that the second game has arrived, and everyone has been waiting. The game promises a significant upgrade across the board,
including a brand new original scenario overseen by the original author, Hajime Kanzaka. Get ready for the whole gang to go wild in this amazing RPG. It's currently available for 6,800 yen plus tax. If you're a Slayers fan with a Saturn, this is a must-buy. This page delves into the intricate scoring system of Radiant Silvergun, a true Saturn masterpiece from Treasure. It highlights how mastering the game's unique bonus mechanics is key to achieving high scores, far beyond just clearing stages. The core bonuses discussed include the boss destruction bonus, rewarding players for strategically taking out individual boss parts before destroying the main body. Achieving 100% destruction on a boss doubles the points earned, adding a layer of tactical depth. The chain bonus is also detailed, centered around destroying enemies of specific colors: red, blue, yellow. The basic chain involves hitting a sequence of different colors, while the secret chain rewards players for destroying enemies of the same color consecutively, leading to exponentially higher scores that can cap out at 100,000 points per chain. Finally, the page explains the weapon bonus, obtainable by using the game's 7 distinct weapons in particular ways. Each weapon has a unique condition, like hitting enemies for a certain duration with the homing plasma, or achieving a large number of consecutive hits with the Vulcan laser or wide shot. These bonuses encourage players to utilize their entire arsenal effectively, rather than sticking to a single favorite. Screenshots showcase the intense on-screen action, featuring different enemy types and a large boss, illustrating the vibrant visual style and the importance of managing diverse enemy colors for chaining. The bottom section includes information on related merchandise like the Radiant Silvergun soundtrack and official guidebook, confirming the game's impactful release.